Chapter 3111. Holy Feather Sect __. He actually survived? Yuan Chong exclaimed in his heart. After all, there were nearly 30 experts above the rank 3 True Saint realm. And there was also Shen Si, a genuine rank 5 True Saint. Facing so many experts alone, under normal circumstances, even a peak rank 4 True Saint could not survive. But now Jian Wushuang could use the messaging token to send a message to him. Obviously he was alive and well. Little brother Heavenly Sword Marquis said that he has already lost 4 God, and asked where we are now. He will come and meet us, Yuan Chong said. Tell him the location, Prince Qing said. Yuan Chong nodded, and immediately sent a message back. Then, Prince Qing and Yuan Chong quietly waited here. Not long after they waited, a figure came from afar, and soon appeared in front of them. This figure was Jian Wushuang. Prince Qing, Mr. Yuan Chong. Jian Wushuang greeted them. Yes. Prince Qing nodded slightly in response. Little brother Heavenly Sword Marquis, you really survived from Shen Si and the others? Yuan Chong looked at Jian Wushuang in amazement. I'm good at speed, and my life-saving skills are not bad. In addition, I was lucky enough to escape from them, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. But how did you stall them before? Yuan Chong could not help asking. Being good at speed and having strong life-saving skills, it was quite acceptable to be able to survive from Shen Si and the others. However, Jian Wushuang did not simply run for his life before. He first stopped Shen Si and the others by himself before running for his life. It was impossible for an ordinary person to stop nearly 30 experts for a period of time, and then escape unscathed. I was able to stop them because I have a special treasure that can seal time and space for a short period of time. Naturally, I can also trap Shen Si and the others for a period of time, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Is that so? Yuan Chong raised his eyebrows. He looked at Jian Wushuang, but he could not tell whether Jian Wushuang was lying or not. Let's not talk about this. Your Highness Qing, the third prince has sent people to kill you. But I wonder if you plan to go to the Holy Feather Sect next? Jian Wushuang asked. Yes, of course. His Highness Qing nodded without hesitation. Sixth brother has been at a disadvantage in the fight with third brother. Recently, his situation has been getting worse and worse. Especially just now, when I learned of third brother's secret methods. I became even more determined to go to the Holy Feather Sect. Because only with the support of the Holy Feather Sect can sixth brother have hope of defeating third brother. Jian Wushuang took a deep look at his Highness Qing and nodded slightly. In that case, let's not delay. Let's continue. Then I'll have to trouble you on the way. Yuan Chong had become very polite to Jian Wushuang. The three of them immediately went back to the Holy Feather Sect. In the magnificent palace, a cold-looking man in a luxurious golden robe, the third prince, was sitting on the throne. For God and the others have all gone missing? The third prince's expression was obviously not good. Yes, apart from for God, I have also sent messages to ask about the experts he brought with him. But until now there has been no reply. I think that they are either in a special space-time and have completely blocked the communication with the outside world, or they are all dead. A purple-robed middle-aged man said respectfully. The information we received before was very accurate. Qing did indeed only bring Yuan Chong and the 10 rank 3 True Saints as personal guards. And Six Brothers people have been under our surveillance the whole time. They didn't make any movements before. When they knew Qing was attacked, Six Brothers people immediately moved. This can eliminate the possibility that Sixth Brother deliberately set this trap. In that case, what happened to For God and the others? The third prince tapped his fingers on the armchair and pondered. After a long while, he raised his head again and said, Go send someone to the place where For God and the others ambushed. We must find out what happened no matter what. Yes. The purple-robed middle-aged man nodded respectfully and quickly left. Jian Wushuang, Prince Qing, and Yuan Chong continued on their way to the Holy Feather Sect. They did not encounter any trouble along the way. A few days later, the three of them arrived in front of the Holy Feather Sect. Your Highness, that's the Holy Feather Sect. Yuan Chong pointed to an ancient sect in front of them. Yes. Prince Qing nodded with a hint of joy in his eyes. Although the Holy Feather Sect was not one of the 3 pavilions, 9 courtyards, or the 12 divine sects, it was still a famous sect in the first heaven. It also had a certain level of heritage. The sect in front of him was rather magnanimous at a glance. Let's go down. Prince Qing immediately rushed down the mountain gate. Just as he landed in front of the mountain gate, the dozen or so Holy Feather sect disciples guarding it immediately surrounded him. Who are you? One of the white-robed disciples asked. My name is Mu Qing. I am from the Zhenwu Kingdom. I am here to pay my respects to Elder Qi-chun of your sect, said Prince Qing. Pay my respects to Elder Qi-chun? Do you have Elder Qi-chun's token? Asked the white-robed disciple. Yes. Prince Qing immediately took out a token. Elder Qi-chun gave this to me. He also told me to take this token to the Holy Feather sect to look for him. The white-robed disciple took the token and looked at it briefly. Then he nodded slightly and said, It is indeed Elder Qi-chun's token. Wait here. I'll inform Elder Xian to take you in. Thank you. Princess Qing thanked him. Not long after, a thin elder with white hair walked out of the Holy Feather sect and came to Jian Wushuang and the other two. Who has Elder Qi-chun's token? The thin elder glanced at Jian Wushuang and the other two. It's me, Prince Qing said. Come in with me, the thin elder said coldly. My lord, these two are my guards. Can they come in with me? Prince Qing asked. Yes, but remember, don't run around in the sect. Otherwise, if anything happens in the sect, it won't be good, the thin elder said in a low voice. Of course, we'll pay attention to it. Princess Qing nodded quickly. Immediately, the three followed the thin elder into the Holy Feather sect. An extremely grand sect also contained a lot of experts auras. Of course, whether in terms of quantity or quality, the experts in the Holy Feather sect definitely could not compare to the experts in the Young Divine sect that Jian Wushuang had stayed in before. However, many experts in the Young Divine sect were hidden in the dark, but Jian Wushuang could not sense them. Your name is Mu Qing? Is she the princess of the Zhenwu Kingdom? The skinny elder who had been leading the way suddenly turned his head and asked. Chapter 31:12, Sky Puppet Formation. Yes. Prince Qing nodded, but she did not dare to show any arrogance. She was very clear that if her identity as a princess was in the Zhenwu country, it would naturally be incomparably lofty. However, if it was in the first sky, it would not be a big deal. After all, the first sky was vast and boundless. There were countless countries. Not many people would care about a mere princess from an ordinary country. At the very least, a sect like the Holy Feather sect could not care about the entire Zhenwu country, let alone a princess from a country. I have already confirmed with Elder Qi-chun that he indeed has the intention to take you as his disciple. However, whether you can really become his disciple will depend on your own ability, said the thin and weak elder. Prince Qing's expression changed, but his gaze became firm. Under the guidance of the thin and frail elder, it did not take long for the three of them to arrive at a huge training ground of the Holy Feather sect. There were quite a few people on the training ground at this moment, and in the middle of the training ground, there was a special array formation. Has the sky puppet array formation been set up? The weathered elder called a person over to ask. Elder Xian, it's already set up, but I wonder who is going to break through the sky puppet array formation. The deacon replied. Her. The thin elder pointed at Qing. He said, Mu Qing, Elder Kitchen has already ordered you to challenge the sky puppet formation. If you can last 10 breaths in the sky puppet formation, you can become his in-name disciple. If you can last 20 breaths, you can become his personal disciple. But if you can't even last 10 breaths, then he will be wrong. You can go back to where you came from. Trying to break through this formation? Prince Qing's expression was solemn as he immediately looked toward the formation at the center of the arena. The formation was extremely unique, and at the center of the formation were many incomparably tall and sturdy figures. These tall and sturdy figures were all powerful sky puppets. Every single one of them possessed true saint-level battle prowess, and there were 6 sky puppets within the formation. Remember, you only have one chance. Go. The old man waved his hand. Princess Qing was a bit nervous. She took a deep breath, but her eyes quickly became resolute. Under the gazes of many Holy Feather sect disciples, Princess Qing entered the center of the array. Let's begin. As the old man ordered, the deacon immediately activated the sky puppet array. In an instant, the 6 heavenly puppets in the center of the formation woke up and attacked Prince Qing. Prince Qing also took out a jade green spear and fought with the heavenly puppets. As for Jian Wushuang and Yuan Chong, they watched from outside the formation. Prince Qing, go for it. Yuan Chong clenched his hands, his eyes full of expectation. The 6 sky puppets seem to be quite strong. Each one of them has the battle strength of a first-rank true saint. The 6 of them working together put a lot of pressure on Prince Qing. Jian Wushuang also watched everything in the formation. Suddenly, his pupils constricted again. No, the sky puppet magic formation is not that simple. The 6 heaven puppets have been increasing their strength during the fight with Prince Qing. Moreover, their speed of improvement is very fast. If they continue at this speed, their strength should reach the peak of rank 1, or even close to a rank 2 true saint in 20 breaths. It will be very difficult for them to resist the 6 sky puppets at the same time. Jian Wushuang could tell that the sky puppet formation was extraordinary. Inside the formation, Emperor Qing was fighting with the 6 sky puppets. At first he was calm, but as time went by, it became more and more difficult. After 5 breaths, Emperor Qing was under a certain amount of pressure. After 10 breaths, Emperor Qing was completely suppressed by the 6 sky puppets. 10 breaths. Yuan Chong's heart skipped a beat. According to what the old man had said, as long as she could hold on for 10 breaths in the heavenly puppet formation, Princess Qing would be able to become the in-name disciple of Elder Qi Chen. Although the in-name disciple was far inferior to the personal disciple, it was still not bad. At the very least, they would not have come all this way for nothing. 12 breaths. Princess Qing, hold on, you must hold on. Yuan Chong roared in his heart. Very soon, Her Highness Qing had walked through 14 breaths of time within the sky puppet array. At this moment, she had already been completely suppressed and forced into a sorry state by the 6 sky puppets, but she was still doing her best to hold on. And when Her Highness Qing was trapped within the sky puppet array, in the void not far away, several figures were slowly drifting forward. Sect Master Moon Reflection. Your Holy Feather sect is really magnanimous. A calm laughter rang out. This laughter was said very casually, and it was unknown if it was really praising the Holy Feather sect. And the one who spoke was a black-haired demonic youth. The aura emitted from this black-haired demonic youth was not very strong, and was only at the first-level true saint realm. Haha, my Holy Feather sect is only slightly bigger, but it doesn't have too many extraordinary things. Compared to many ancient sects in the first sky, it's too far away. For example, the Young Divine sect directly established its sect in a mystic realm of heaven and earth. How amazing is that? Also, take the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance where the 2 young friends are from. Legend has it that one of the 2 great headquarters of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, the Heaven-Cleaving Star, was moved back from the universe battlefield. It contains all sorts of mystical things. That's what makes it amazing, said a beautiful purple-clothed woman leisurely. After all, the Young Divine sect has given birth to a principal's master. It's normal for it to have a mystic realm of heaven and earth. As for the Heaven-Cleaving Star of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, that's incomparable, the black-haired demonic youth said. Of course. The purple-robed beautiful woman smiled. Oh, the black-haired demonic youth's expression suddenly moved, but his gaze landed on the martial practice field in front of him. That martial practice field seems to be very lively. What is it doing? This. The purple-robed beautiful woman also glanced at the training ground, and her expression could not help but change. It looks like someone is barging into the sky puppet formation. Sky puppet formation? Let's go and take a look. The black-haired demonic youth immediately rushed over, and beside him was a white-robed woman. Although she did not say anything, she still followed him. The purple-robed beautiful woman, and a few experts from the Holy Feather sect behind her naturally followed. In the blink of an eye, these people had already arrived at the void around the training field. Is that your Holy Feather sect sky puppet formation? It looks very ordinary. The black-robed devilish youth stared at the scene inside the sky puppet formation, but the corners of his mouth revealed a trace of disdain. Hee. Although the strength of the 6 sky puppets in the sky puppet formation can continuously become stronger, no matter how strong they can only reach the 2nd level true saint level. It's more than enough to test the strength of ordinary disciples, but it's useless to some top geniuses like you 2 young friends. The purple-robed beautiful woman said. Chapter 31:13. Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis? Is the girl who is challenging the sky puppet array a disciple of the Holy Feather sect? The black-haired demonic youth asked casually. I haven't seen this girl yet, so she shouldn't be a disciple of our Holy Feather sect yet. However, she has already lasted for 15 breaths in the sky puppet array. Judging from her appearance, she should be able to last for 18 breaths. To be able to last so long in the sky puppet array, she is considered quite outstanding among the disciples of our Holy Feather sect, said the purple-clothed beautiful woman. However, the black-haired devilish youth still did not care about it. He did not even bother to look at the sky puppet array again. Instead, he turned his gaze to the training grounds. However, with just a casual glance, his pupils suddenly constricted. His gaze was completely fixed on a person on the training grounds. Mirage water, mirage water. The black-haired devilish youth hurriedly shouted. What's wrong? The silent white-robed woman looked over. Look who it is. The black-haired demonic youth's voice was trembling. The white-robed woman looked in the direction the black-haired demonic youth had pointed, and her eyes instantly widened. Both of them were staring at that person, and that person was Jian Wushuang. It's him. It's definitely him. Although his appearance has been disguised, the extent of the disguise is not big. I can recognize him at a glance. The black-haired evil-looking young man and the white-robed woman instantly confirmed Jian Wushuang's identity. They had not only seen Jian Wushuang, but also had a deep impression of him. Even if Jian Wushuang had disguised himself a little, they could still recognize him. Why is he here? The black-haired evil-looking young man was trembling. I don't know. The white-robed woman shook her head. What should we do? Should we go over? No, hurry. He is standing outside the sky puppet formation. It seems that the woman who is breaking through the formation is related to him. Let's wait here and wait for the woman to finish breaking through the formation before we go over. The black-haired, evil-looking young man said. All right. The white-robed woman nodded heavily as well. The 2 of them conversed softly. The purple-haired beauty beside them did not hear what they were saying, nor did she notice that they had lost their composure. Inside the sky puppet formation, Princess Qing gritted her teeth and unleashed her full strength. It was not just her strength, but also her tenacity. In fact, she should have been defeated by the 6 sky puppets a long time ago, but she was unwilling to give up. She had been fighting with all her might, putting her life on the line, just to hold on for the last few breaths. 20 breaths. No matter what, I have to hold on for 20 breaths. Only in this way can I become the personal disciple of Elder Kitchen. Only by becoming the personal disciple can I have the right to ask Elder Kitchen to come out, and ask the Holy Feather sect to come out and help 6th brother. The conviction in Princess Qing's heart was abnormally firm. It was this conviction that had been driving her, causing her to not give up until now. 17 breaths, 18 breaths. Very quickly, Princess Qing held on for the 19th breath. He actually held on for 19 breaths. The beautiful woman in purple beside the martial arts practice field revealed a surprised expression. She had long seen through Prince Qing's strength. In her opinion, Prince Qing being able to last for 18 breaths in the sky puppet formation was already his limit. But she did not expect that he could last for 19 breaths. And now, she was trying to last for 20 breaths. Bang! A low and deep sound rang out, and a terrifying force smashed directly onto Prince Qing's divine body. Prince Qing's body instantly turned into a stream of light, and was directly blasted out of the sky puppet formation. In the 20th breath, Qing Air still could not endure it. Fortunately, she still couldn't endure it in the 20th breath. However, with her strength, she was able to endure it for 19 breaths. This belief is very strong. This girl's tenacity and willpower are also very outstanding. The purple-robed beautiful woman looked at Qing Air, who was blasted out of the sky puppet formation, A trace of admiration could be seen in her beautiful eyes. At this moment, Prince Qing had already stabilized her body, but her face was deathly pale. She stood outside the sky puppet formation with both her hands clenched tightly. Her fingertips were already as smooth as flesh and blood, and her body was trembling slightly. She was unwilling. Unwilling. It was clearly only the last breath, but she had failed. You persisted in the sky puppet formation for 19 breaths of time. According to what Elder Kitchen said, you are qualified to become his in-name disciple. Elder Kitchen is currently in closed-door cultivation. After some time, when Elder Kitchen comes out of closed-door cultivation, you will be able to accept him as your master. The weathered old man stared at Prince Qing. His expression was even colder than before. Honorary disciples and personal disciples seemed to be disciples, but there was a huge gap between them. One had to know that all the powerful elders in the Holy Feather sect had many honorary disciples under them. For example, Elder Kitchen had more than 10 honorary disciples, but he only had one personal disciple. The difference in status, of course, he did not think so. Previously, the vicissitudes of life Elder thought that Prince Qing might become Elder Kitchen's personal disciple, so he was quite polite to Prince Qing. But now that he was only an in-name disciple, his attitude naturally changed. I have an urgent matter. Can I go and see Master now? Prince Qing asked. No. The vicissitudes of life Elder shook his head. If he was a personal disciple, if he had urgent matters to attend to, he could naturally seek an audience with him. However, an in-name disciple was just a name. Elder Kitchen probably would not even take it to heart. How could he let him disturb his closed-door cultivation? Upon hearing the old man's reply, Princess Qing's face turned deathly pale. Right at this moment. Several figures suddenly swept down from the surrounding void and arrived in front of Her Highness Qing. When the vicissitudes of life old man saw who it was, he immediately bowed and saluted. Greetings, Sect Master. The Sect Master was naturally referring to the purple-robed beauty. This purple-robed beauty was the current Sect Master of the Holy Feather sect, Yingyu. Most people called her the Sect Master of the Moon Reflection sect. Get up. Sect Master Yingyu waved her hand, and the weathered elder immediately stood up. Beside Sect Master Yingyu, the black-haired, evil-looking young man and the white-robed woman took a deep breath. They both stepped forward and approached Jian Wushuang with some restraint. Then, under Sect Master Yingyu's somewhat shocked gaze, they directly bowed to Jian Wushuang. At the same time, the black-haired evil-looking youth said, Evil Master, greetings, Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis. I didn't expect you to be in the Holy Feather sect. Sect Master Moon Reflection was stunned. Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis? You? Chapter 31:14. Personal Disciple Sect Master Yingyu looked at the two people around her in astonishment. Although they were only rank 1 true saints, she was very clear about their origins and identities. Even she was polite to them, and did not put on any airs. But now, these two people actually treated each other so humbly. They called each other sir, and even addressed each other as you? Who is this person? It's you too. Jian Wushuang glanced at the black-haired evil-looking young man, and the white-robed woman. They were the two geniuses from the primitive palace he met in the Bone region, the Evil Master and Mirage Water. When the three geniuses from the primitive palace joined hands, they were easily defeated by Jian Wushuang. Later, on the Heaven-Cleaving Star, they saw Jian Wushuang easily defeat Gu Tong, the number 1 genius of the first stage of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 palaces. Naturally, they were in awe of Jian Wushuang. It's rare that you still remember us. The evil master smiled. Not long ago, we saw you on the Heaven-Cleaving Star. However, there were too many people, so we didn't come forward to greet you. Later, you entered the Heaven-Cleaving Mystic Realm, and stayed there for a long time. We don't know when you left. Heaven-Cleaving Star? Heaven-Cleaving Mystic Realm? When the Moon Reflection Sect Master heard these words, her pupils contracted secretly. Young friend Evil Master, could it be that this young brother is also a member of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 palaces? No. Sir Heavenly Sword Marquis is not a subordinate of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 palaces, said the Evil Master. Then why did he go to the Heaven-Cleaving Star, and enter the heaven-cleaving mystic realm? The Moon Reflection Sect Master was puzzled. She was the sect master of the Holy Feather Sect after all, and had some knowledge. She had heard of the heaven-cleaving mystic realm before. The heaven-cleaving mystic realm was one of the greatest opportunities in the heaven-cleaving three palaces. Even within the heaven-cleaving three palaces, only a handful of people were qualified to enter it. Sect mastering you. You may not know this, but although Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis is not a member of the heaven-cleaving three palaces, the three palace masters of the heaven-cleaving three palaces personally gave the order to make an exception for Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis to enter the heaven-cleaving mystic realm once. The evil master said with a smile. Three palace masters make an exception? Moon Reflection Sect Master was stunned, and huge waves immediately surged up from the bottom of his heart. The three palace masters of the heaven-cleaving three palaces were all supreme existences. They were the top-notch principles masters. Any one of these supreme experts was enough to sweep through the entire first heaven. For example, although the 3 pavilions and 9 courtyards of the first heaven had a certain level of strength, they were nothing in front of the heaven-cleaving alliance's palace masters. How could the 3 palace masters make an exception for the Heavenly Sword Marquis in front of them? Sect Master Inyu stared at Jian Wushuang with a strange expression. Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis, why are you here in the Holy Feather Sect? The evil master asked. I followed her here. Jian Wushuang glanced at Prince Qing. Her. The evil master looked at Prince Qing and asked curiously, is this girl related to you, Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis? Sort of. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. I'll be her guard for a while. Guard. The evil master's expression became even more strange. Sect Master Yingya's eyes lit up, and then she stepped forward and asked, Girl, what's your name? And where are you from? Sect Master Yingya's question made her nervous and excited. She suppressed her emotions and answered, Sect Master, my name is Mu Qing, and am from the true martial kingdom. Sect Master, this Mu Qing has Elder Qi Chen's token. She came here this time to enter Elder Qi Chen's tutelage. However, Elder Qi Chen asked her to break through the sky puppet array. She can only become his personal disciple after enduring for 20 breaths in the sky puppet array. This Mu Qing only lasted for 19 breaths. Therefore, she can only become an in-name disciple. The weathered elder at the side said immediately, In-name disciple? The Moon Reflection Sect Master frowned slightly. This girl's tenacity and willpower are both very good. I also find her very pleasing to the eye. How about this? Let Elder Qi Chen give her to me. I haven't accepted a disciple in a long time either. Sect Master, you want to accept her as a disciple? The vicissitudes of life old man looked over in astonishment. Princess Qing also raised her head abruptly and looked at the Moon Reflection Sect Master in disbelief. I want to take you in as a disciple, and a personal disciple at that. The sect master of the Reflection Moon sect looked at His Highness Qing. However, there are certain conditions for you to become my disciple. I still have some matters that I have yet to settle. After some time has passed, I will personally arrange a test for you. If you can pass my test, you can become my personal disciple. How about it? Thank you, Lord Sect Master. Prince Qing was pleasantly surprised. You are welcome. Sect Master Inyu waved his hand. May I ask, Lord Sect Master, how long will it take for the test to be ready? Clearly, Prince Qing was somewhat anxious. Why are you so anxious? Do you have other matters? Sect Master Inyu looked over. Yes, I do. Prince Qing hesitated for a moment. Then he briefly recounted some of the things that had happened in the Zhenwu Kingdom. The competition for the ruler? So that's how it is. The expression of the sect master of the Moon Reflecting Sect changed. You want my Holy Feather Sect to step forward and help your sixth brother? Yes. His Highness Qing clenched his teeth. The sect master of the Moon Reflecting Sect glanced at His Highness Qing and immediately smiled. Your talent is not bad. Moreover, I admire your tenacity and perseverance. Even if you are unable to pass my test and become my personal disciple in the end, it is not a problem for you to become a core disciple of my Holy Feather Sect. Since you have encountered some trouble now, my Holy Feather Sect will naturally step forward to help you. Exian Sect. Sect Master Yu glanced at the weathered elder and said, "Go and invite Elder Zixing. Ask him to go to the true martial kingdom with you. Help this girl solve the troubles in the true martial kingdom, and then come back." Yes. The weathered elder nodded respectfully and immediately went to invite Elder Zixing. "Thank you, Sect Master." Prince Qing was very excited, and Yuan Chong was also so excited that his body was trembling. "I told you there was no need to be so polite." The moon reflection sect master only smiled faintly, but her eyes were looking at Jian Wushuang, whether intentionally or not. Jian Wushuang had been standing there with his arms crossed. His expression was cold, as if it had nothing to do with what was in front of him. However, although Jian Wushuang did not make any movements, he could still see that the reason why the moon reflection sect master wanted to take Prince Qing as a personal disciple and asked the Holy Feather sect to solve the trouble in the genuine force country was because of him. It was because of him. Not long after, the weathered elder came with Elder Zixing. The aura that Elder Zixing emitted was that of a genuine rank 6 true saint. Chapter 31:15. Raging Anger Zixing. Go to the true martial kingdom with the Xian sect. After you solve the girl's problem, bring her back to the sect. Sect Master Yu said. Yes. Zixing nodded. Sect Master Yu, the evil master said. We will also go to the true martial kingdom with Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis. We won't stay any longer. Okay. Sect Master Inghua was very polite. Jian Wushuang and the others immediately set off. After Jian Wushuang and the others left the Holy Feather sect, an elder of the Holy Feather sect came forward. Sect Master, are you really going to take Mu Qing as your personal disciple? The elder asked in surprise. Yes, I am. Sect Master Inghua nodded. Is it because of Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis? The elder asked. Yes, but not entirely, the sect master said with a smile. She did admire Mu Qing, but under normal circumstances, even if she did, she would not directly say that she wanted to take him as her personal disciple. The reason why she gave Mu Qing such an opportunity was because of Jian Wushuang. She even sent people to the true martial kingdom to solve his problems, largely because of Jian Wushuang. Who is the Heavenly Sword Marquis? The elder asked, puzzled. I don't know, but I can be sure that his background is extraordinary. The moon reflection sect master's expression became solemn. The evil master and Mirage Water are already the genius disciples of the heaven-cleaving 3 palaces and the primitive palace. And this Heavenly Sword Marquis is clearly an extraordinary genius as well. Moreover, he was able to make the evil master and Mirage Water revere him so much that he even respectfully addressed him as Sir, and even addressed him as you. Such treatment is something that not even the super monsters of the Chaos Palace can do. In addition to what the evil master just said, this Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis actually made an exception for the 3 palace masters of the heaven-cleaving 3 palaces to give him a spot in the heaven-cleaving mystic realm. This is simply inconceivable. If I'm not mistaken, this Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis either has a background that reaches the heavens, or he has incredible talent. It's even possible that he has both. If the first type has such a huge background, then it wouldn't be wrong for us to think of ways to befriend them. And if the second type, that incredible genius, just because he didn't join the 3 palaces, if he joined the 3 palaces, his status wouldn't be inferior to the principal's master. What? The elder stared. Just a rank 3 true saint, but his status was comparable to the principal's master? So no matter what, this Heavenly Sword Marquis isn't someone our Holy Feather sect can offend. Moreover, he's worth us thinking of ways to befriend him. I just accepted Mu Qing as a disciple, so I'm doing this Heavenly Sword Marquis a favor. Of course, although this favor won't make this Heavenly Sword Marquis grateful, in the future, when our Holy Feather sect interacts with him again, it'll definitely be much easier, Moon Reflection Sect's sect master said. I see. The elder immediately understood. Sect master is wise. In the void outside the Holy Feather sect, Jian Wushuang, Mu Qing, Yuan Chong, Xie Shi, Mirage Water, and Elder Zixing from the Holy Feather sect were standing there with Xian Zong. Elder Zixing is a genuine rank 6 true saint, and Lord Xianzong is a peak rank 5 true saint expert. With these two lords following us to the true martial kingdom, the threat of the third prince to your highness will cease immediately. Yuan Chong looked at Elder Zixing and Xianzong beside him. He looked extremely excited. Thank you, Mr. Heavenly Marquis. Mu Qing looked at Jian Wushuang and said gratefully. She was not stupid. In the Holy Feather sect, she could see that the reason why the sect master of the Moon Reflecting sect was so polite to her, and even gave her the opportunity to become his personal disciple, was very important. It was because of the guard, Heavenly Sword Marquis. The sect master of the Moon Reflection sect was obviously a favor to Heavenly Sword Marquis. Although her talent was good, she was not too outstanding in the Holy Feather sect. For example, Elder Qi Chun of the Holy Feather sect only accepted her as an in-name disciple, according to the result of her breaking through the sky puppet formation. But now, she had a great chance to become the personal disciple of the sect master of the Moon Reflection sect, which was equivalent to ascending to the heavens in one step. I didn't do anything. As for the Holy Feather sect, you fought for it yourself. Jian Wushuang's voice was calm, and he did not take credit for it. Indeed, he did not do anything. He just stood there and did not say much. As for the Moon Reflection sect master, and the others wanting to give him face and help him, he just did not refuse. No matter what, I still have to thank you, Mu Qing said once again. Alright, let's talk about the rest later. Let's go to the true martial kingdom first, and settle the troubles there first. Elder Zixing said from the side. Mu Qing nodded slightly. Immediately, the group of people headed straight for the true martial kingdom. In the magnificent palace, the third prince was still seated on the throne at the very top. However, the third prince's expression was extremely ugly. Trash! A bunch of trash! A low shout filled with anger exploded within the large hall. Many experts stood in the middle of the hall, and their bodies trembled slightly when they heard this shout. That four god is really stupid. He's a rank 5 true saint, and he brought close to 30 rank 3 and rank 4 true saints to kill Ah Qing, who only had 10 rank 3 true saints protecting him. It's fine that he didn't kill Ah Qing, but he even lost himself. Close to 30 experts, and not a single one survived. Moreover, not even the slightest bit of information was transmitted. I really don't know what they did before they died. Even if it was 30 pigs before they were killed, they should at least roar twice. At this moment, the third prince's fury was indeed overflowing to the heavens. He had just received news that Mu Qing had already arrived at the Holy Feather sect. Moreover, he seemed to have a certain relationship with the sect master of the Moon Reflection sect within the Holy Feather sect. The sect master of the Moon Reflection sect had actually sent 2 experts to follow Mu Qing toward the true martial kingdom. Your Highness, Shen Si and the others have already died. It's useless to be angry at this time. As for why they were completely annihilated, and everyone had died there, we can forget about that for now. But right now, our top priority is to think about what we should do next. The purple-robed middle-aged man who was leading the group said. His voice was unusually grave. His Highness Qing has already gone to the Holy Feather sect, and has already formed a relationship with them. The Holy Feather sect has even sent a rank 6 and a peak rank 5 true saint from the Zhenwu kingdom. That peak rank 5 true saint is still alright. With our strength, we can find someone to contend against him. However, the key point is that rank 6 true saint is not easy to deal with. The purple-robed middle-aged man's words caused everyone in the hall to frown, and everyone rushed to the bottom of the heart of extraordinary pressure. Chapter 31:16. Help. Although a rank 5 true saint was the top elite warrior in the Zhenwu country, there were still some in the entire country. With the power of the third prince, it was not difficult to find an elite warrior who could compete with a rank 5 true saint. However, a rank 6 true saint, it must be known that the strongest warrior in the Zhenwu country was the king of the Zhenwu country, who had suddenly disappeared. He was only a rank 6 true saint. Previously, the king of the Zhenwu country was also the only rank 6 true saint in the Zhenwu country. Now that the king of the Jinwu country had disappeared, how could the Jinwu country still have the combat power to fight against a rank 6 true saint? Thus, if that rank 6 true saint from the Holy Feather sect had arrived in the Jinwu country and gathered with the 6th prince to attack them directly, they would not have any room to resist. Humph, a level 6 true saint, so what? A fierce light flashed in the 3rd prince's eyes like an electric arc. If Ah Ching could find the Holy Feather sect to help, wouldn't I find helpers? A rank 6 true saint was indeed invincible in the Jinwu country. However, this was the first heaven, where the number of experts was as high as the clouds. It would not be difficult to find 1 or 2 rank 6 true saints. The 3rd prince's face was gloomy, but he already had an idea in his heart. Immediately, the 3rd prince took out a communication talisman and used it to communicate with others. After a short moment, the 3rd prince revealed a bright smile. Everyone, there is no need to rush. It won't be long before the helpers that I have invited will arrive. Hearing the 3rd prince's words, the powerhouses in the palace looked at each other in dismay and felt much more at ease. The 3rd prince began to wait. This wait only lasted for 10 days. In front of the huge mansion where the 3rd prince lived, 2 figures sped over and stopped in midair. Mu Feng. A majestic voice came from one of the people's mouth and resounded in the world. Mu Feng was the 3rd prince's real name. There were many people who knew this real name, but usually, no one dared to call him by his name. Most people called him His Highness or the 3rd prince, but now the person who came called the 3rd prince by his name. Moreover, when the 3rd prince heard this voice, he was not angry, but happy instead. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Surrounded by a group of people, the 3rd prince's figure immediately appeared in front of the 2 people. Haha, brother Yixiao. The 3rd prince laughed heartily, and his eyes were filled with joy. The person whom the 3rd prince called brother Yixiao was actually a blood-haired young man dressed in luxurious clothes. This blood-haired young man had a cold expression, and he carried a blood-colored battle saber on his back. His aura was especially cold. Chu Yixiao was a genius disciple from the Purple Heaven Pavilion. He had a cold temperament, but when he saw the 3rd prince arrive, a rare smile appeared on Chu Yixiao's face. Mu Feng, we haven't seen each other for a long time. Is it good to see you? It's all right. It's just that I've encountered some trouble recently. The 3rd prince deliberately sighed. After that, he turned his gaze toward a white-bearded old man beside Chu Yixiao. That white-bearded old man's gaze was cloudy. Standing there, his entire person looked like a celestial being. Brother Yixiao, who is this senior? The 3rd prince asked. This is Deacon Long from my Purple Sky Pavilion. I know that you've encountered some trouble. You're worried that I won't be able to resolve it by myself, so I've invited Deacon Long to come with me. Deacon Long is a genuine rank 6 true saint. Moreover, his strength isn't ordinary. Chu Yixiao said. Rank 6 true saint. The 3rd prince's eyes lit up, but he immediately bowed. Mu Feng greets Deacon Long. Get up. The sage-like white-bearded old man, Deacon Long, glanced indifferently at the 3rd prince. This old man has come because of Yixiao. Tell me, what do you want this old man to do for you? There is no rush. I have already ordered someone to prepare a banquet. Let's drink while we talk. What do you think? The 3rd prince said. Okay. Yixiao nodded. Immediately, the 3 of them returned to the magnificent palace. In the magnificent palace, wine and meat were served on the table. Only then did the 3rd prince begin to recount the trouble he had encountered. This is how it is. If the Holy Feather sect had not appeared, the position of king of the Jinwu kingdom would have been mine for sure. But now it's troublesome. After the 3rd prince had finished speaking, he quietly raised his head and looked at Chu Yixiao and Deacon Long. Deacon Long's death was very ordinary. It seemed that what the 3rd prince had said had nothing to do with him. Chu Yixiao also slightly frowned. Mu Feng, this matter of yours is indeed troublesome. After all, the Holy Feather sect is located near the Jinwu country. Even if the Holy Feather sect forcefully forced the Jinwu country to become its subordinate, I don't think anyone would say anything. And now, your sister has become a disciple of the Holy Feather sect. She might even become the personal disciple of the sect master of the Holy Feather sect. So it's only natural for the Holy Feather sect to help her resolve the internal conflicts in the Zhenwu country. No, since our Qing can make the Zhenwu country submit to the Holy Feather sect, then I can also make the Zhenwu country submit to the Purple Cloud Pavilion. The third prince said, "Submit to the Purple Cloud Pavilion?" Chu Yixio's expression changed immediately. He said with a smile, "Mu Feng, it's not that you don't know. Although our Purple Cloud Pavilion is much more powerful than the Holy Feather sect, our Purple Cloud Pavilion is too far away from the Zhenwu country. We don't know how many territories are separated in the middle. How could we care about this Zhenwu country?" "That's true, but it's not absolute. Brother Yixiao, Deacon Long, the reason why I invited the two of you here today is that I hope that you can think of a way. Oh right, this is the gift I prepared for the two of you. I hope that you can accept it." Mu Feng waved his hand and took out 2 interspatial rings. Chu Yixiao and Deacon Long each had one. Deacon Long glanced at the interspatial rings and nodded slightly. As for Chu Yixiao, the corners of his mouth curled up, but his expression could not help but darken. Humph, the Holy Feather sect is just an unranked sect in the first heaven. They have quite a wide scope of control. Mu Feng, don't worry. Since I'm here with Deacon Long today, I'll naturally lend you a hand. Many thanks, Brother Yixiao. The third prince was overjoyed, but he secretly pursed his lips in his heart. He and Chu Yixiao were indeed once friends. Before Chu Yixiao joined the Purple Cloud Pavilion, the two of them had taken risks together, but it was only an adventure. After all, they did not really share life and death together, so they could only be considered friends. Of course, the other party would not work for him for free, therefore, although he did not refuse at the beginning, he said that it would be difficult to deal with all kinds of trouble. But now, as soon as he took out the meeting gift, Chu Yixiao immediately changed his attitude. Sure enough, money could make the devil move the millstone. Mu Feng, let's not waste any time. Gather your men and we'll set off directly, Chu Yixiao said. Set off directly? Kill our way to our door now. The third prince was startled. Of course, Deacon Long, and I don't plan to stay for too long this time. Moreover, if we delay, things will change. Chu Yixiao said with a smile. Okay. The third prince nodded, and immediately went to prepare. Chapter 31:17. Arrived after a month of traveling, Jian Wushuang and the others returned to the true martial kingdom, and the mansion where the sixth prince lived. The sixth prince was already waiting there. Sixth brother. Mu Qing came to the front of the sixth prince. Qing, are you okay? The sixth prince asked. I'm fine. Mu Qing shook his head. Then he began to introduce. Sixth brother, let me introduce you. These two are Elder Zixing from the Holy Feather sect, and Lord Xianzong. They were personally sent by sect master Yingyu to help us. The sixth prince immediately looked at Elder Zixing and Xianzong. Elder Zixing and Xianzong did not conceal their auras either. The sixth prince could clearly sense the auras of those rank 5 and rank 6 peak true saints. Zhenwu Kingdom's Mu Yin greets the two lords. The sixth prince immediately bowed respectfully. Elder Zixing glanced at the sixth prince and waved his hand. However, he did not say anything. Xianzong also appeared very cold. The reason why they had come to Zhenwu country was that they had received the orders of the Moon Reflection Sect Master. As for Mu Yun's so-called identity as the sixth prince of Zhenwu country, they did not care about it at all. And these two are the two geniuses from the Heaven-Cleaving Three-Palace Original Palace, the Evil Master and the Mirage Water. Mu Qing said again, Heaven-Cleaving Three Palaces? The sixth prince's expression immediately changed. He had also heard of the Heaven-Cleaving Three Palaces. It was said that geniuses were as numerous as the clouds there. Any one of them would be a favored son of heaven. Their status was also not something that a mere prince from an ordinary kingdom like him could compare to. Greetings. The sixth prince also bowed humbly. Yes. The evil master nodded slightly in response. Sixth brother. And this is Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis. He was invited by you before. The reason why I was able to arrive at the Holy Feather sect smoothly, and even asked the Moon Reflection Sect Master to send experts to help is because of Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis. Mu Qing said. Oh! The sixth prince raised his eyebrows and looked at Jian Wushuang with a humble smile. Jian Wushuang did not care at all. Everyone, I have arranged a banquet to welcome you. Come with me, the sixth prince said with a smile. Immediately, everyone followed the sixth prince into the mansion below. In a magnificent hall, singing and dancing were very lively. The sixth prince sat at the top of the hall with a wine cup in his hand and said, Mu Yin is very grateful that all of you have come to help me this time. I raise a toast to all of you. With that, the sixth prince drank the wine in his hand. After drinking it, he wiped his mouth and looked down. He found that the people sitting on both sides of the table, whether it was Elder Zixing, Zong, Evil Master, or Mirage Water, did not pay any attention to him at all. They did not pay any attention to him at all. Elder Zixing and Zong looked extremely cold. The former closed his eyes directly, and even if he opened his eyes slightly, he would look in Jian Wushuang's direction. Meanwhile, Evil Master and Mirage Water had been looking at Jian Wushuang with an embarrassed smile. Evil Master had been toasting Jian Wushuang. This scene inevitably made Sixth Prince feel a little awkward. With a sigh, the Sixth Prince put down the wine cup in his hand and asked in a low voice, Ah Qing, what's going on? Why do I feel that this banquet has nothing to do with it? Is the main character of the banquet Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis? Sixth brother, I've told you before that although Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis was invited by you, his identity and ability are extraordinary. I don't know the details, but I can tell you that even the sect master of the Holy Feather sect, Yingyu, seems to want to curry favor with Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis, Mu Qing said softly. Even sect master Moon Reflection wants to curry favor with him? The sixth prince was stunned. He glanced at Evil Master and Mirage Water and nodded slightly. I can see that Evil Master and Mirage Water are genius disciples of the Heaven-Cleaving Three Palaces' original palace. Their status is very high, but they are obviously full of respect for Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis, and very respectful. This Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis background is really extraordinary. That's right, Mu Qing said. After knowing this, the sixth prince did not feel uncomfortable. He calmed down and completely gave the main character to Jian Wushuang. However, the banquet did not last long. Whoosh! A figure hurriedly walked in from outside the hall, walked to the sixth prince's side, and whispered something in his ear. The sixth prince stood up and his eyes sharpened. Everyone! The sixth prince looked around and said, I'm afraid this is the end of the banquet. I've received news that the third prince has gathered all his experts and is coming to kill us. He's coming. He's going to kill us so soon? Mu Qing was stunned. Jian Wushuang and the others in the hall also looked up at the sixth prince. He must have heard that the Holy Feather sect is on my side and sent 2 experts. He had no choice but to act immediately. I also heard that the third prince also asked for help, the sixth prince said. The third prince had many spies around him. Of course, he also sent some experts to infiltrate the third prince's subordinates. Therefore, when the powerhouses under the third prince's command came out in full force, he had also received the news immediately. Elder Zixing, Lord Zong, I'm afraid we will have to trouble the 2 of you with this big battle. The sixth prince said, The 2 of us have come under the order of the sect master to settle the dispute in the Zhenwu country. Naturally we will take action. Elder Zixing said in a low voice. Then I will have to trouble the 2 of you. The sixth prince let out a light breath. In terms of strength, the power controlled by the third prince was indeed much stronger than his. If the third prince had gone all out to attack him previously, he would not have had much confidence. But now, with the existence of Elder Zixing and the Xian sect, the 2 experts of the Holy Feather sect, especially since Elder Zixing was a genuine rank 6 true saint, this made him very confident. Yuan Chong, immediately send the order to gather all the experts under my command. Also, inform Xingang to get the Purple Blood Camp ready, the sixth prince ordered. Yes. Yuan Chong nodded, and immediately went to send the order. Following the sixth prince's order, the experts under his command, including those who had been loyal to him since a long time ago, as well as the many experts he had invited with great rewards, all began to gather quickly. In less than 2 hours, the many experts had already gathered. In this huge mansion, there were already over 200 people standing together, and almost all of them were at least a rank 2 true saint. There were not even many rank 2 true saints, and most of them were rank 3 true saints, and there were also some rank 4 true saints. There was also an army of more than 40 people in purple armor in the air. Chapter 31:18. Purple Sky Pavilion. The Purple Sky Pavilion was the most elite and strongest force of all the forces controlled by the sixth prince. Although the Purple Sky Pavilion only had about 40 people, the weakest among them was a rank 4 true saint, and there were quite a few peak rank 4 true saints. As for a rank 5 true saint, just in the Purple Sky Pavilion alone, there were 4 of them. In addition to the Purple Sky Pavilion, there were 3 other rank 5 true saints gathered here. In other words, there were 7 experts at the rank 5 true saint realm, under the command of the 6th prince. Among them, Xing Gang, the commander of the Purple Sky Pavilion, had reached the peak of rank 5. No wonder the 6th prince was able to fight against the 3rd prince for so long. It turns out that he has such a powerful force under his command. Jian Wushuang was secretly amazed. There were 7 rank 5 true saints, dozens of rank 4 true saints, and more than 200 rank 3 true saints. Such a powerful force was enough to conquer a small country in the first heaven. Not long after the 6th prince gathered his power, a large number of experts suddenly spread their auras in the void in front of the mansion. They're here. The experts in the mansion raised their heads in unison. A large number of black dots suddenly appeared in the void in the distance. Those black dots were densely packed, and in the blink of an eye, they appeared in front of the mansion. Then a large number of figures began to appear. Buzz, buzz, buzz. One after another, powerful auras spread out from these figures. At this moment, there were already more than 300 cultivators who had arrived, and all of them had extremely powerful auras. Even the weakest one was a rank 3 true saint, and there was not even a cultivator below the rank 3. There were also quite a few rank 4 true saints. As for the rank 5 true saints, there were actually a total of 9 rank 5 true saints spreading their auras from the crowd in front. 9 rank 5 true saints, along with a large number of 4th and rank 3 true saints. More than 300 experts appeared in the air in front of the residence, instantly causing the experts under the 6th prince's command to feel an enormous pressure. As expected in terms of strength, the 3rd prince's strength is even stronger. Many people sighed in their hearts. At the front of the crowd, the 3rd prince, who was wearing a luxurious golden robe, had a cold expression on his face. He looked at the people in the residence through the layer of restrictions above the residence. 6th prince, as your elder brother, I personally came to see you. It's fine if you didn't come to see me, but why did you activate the array to shut us out? The 3rd prince's magnificent voice spread throughout the world. You came to see me? You came all the way here with all the experts under your command, just to see me? Aren't you afraid that others will laugh at you if you tell others? The 6th prince snorted coldly. Haha, I do have a motive. However, if you think that the array around your mansion is enough to stop me, you are a little too naive. The 3rd prince sneered. I don't want to hide in this mansion forever. Since you took the initiative to kill your way here today, then the 2 of us should really put an end to it. The 6th prince said in a deep voice. Put an end to it? You didn't have the guts to say this before. It seems that Ah Qing invited an expert from the Sacred Feather sect to give you enough confidence. The 3rd prince said in a cold voice. That's right. Today, with Elder Zi Xing from the Holy Feather sect and Lord Xenzong here, you can forget about stirring up any more trouble. The 6th prince said in a low voice. Elder Zi Xing and Xenzong also took the initiative to release their own divine power auras. It had to be said that the divine power auras of a rank 6 true saint and a peak rank 5 true saint were very powerful. Sensing these 2 auras, a trace of panic flashed through the eyes of the experts under the 3rd prince's command. But right at this moment, Holy Feather sect, hehe, a mere unranked sect, yet it's so imposing. An indifferent laughter suddenly sounded out. The person who laughed was surprisingly Chu Yixiao, who was standing beside the third prince. At the same time that Chu Yixiao spoke, Deacon Long suddenly raised his head. Boom! Boom! A similarly tyrannical divine power aura erupted. This divine power aura was not weaker than Elder Zixing's, and it was even slightly stronger. A rank 6 true saint. Another rank 6 true saint. The experts under the sixth prince's command were all shocked. The experts from the third prince's camp all let out a sigh of relief when they sensed that there was another rank 6 true saint, and that his aura was even stronger. Since there was a rank 6 true saint in both camps, there was nothing to be afraid of. Who are you? Elder Zixing narrowed his eyes and stared at Deacon Long, who was emitting divine power. Deacon Long of the Purple Sky Pavilion. Deacon Long said coldly, Purple Sky Pavilion? Elder Zixing's expression changed. The experts of the sixth prince's camp were all shocked. Even Jian Wushuang's pupils constricted. Purple Sky Pavilion was too famous in the first heaven. In the first heaven, the 3 pavilions, 9 courtyards, and the 12 divine sects stood at the top. The 12 divine sects alone were very powerful and had a deep foundation. It was not surprising that the 12 divine sects had given birth to principal's masters. Even if the principal's masters had either died or lost their whereabouts, the 12 divine sects all had top-notch immortal saints guarding them. The 12 divine sects were like this, and the 3 pavilions and 9 courtyards, which were above the 12 divine sects, were naturally even more powerful. Especially the 3 pavilions. They were the 3 overlords of the first heaven. Jian Wushuang had read the information of the 3 pavilions before. To be able to become one of the 3 pavilions, the purple pavilion must have a living principal's master guarding it. Just this alone was enough to scare people. The Purple Sky Pavilion also had immortal saints who were invincible. There were many top-level and peak-level immortal saints, and their overall strength was extremely powerful. Compared to the Purple Sky Pavilion, the Holy Feather Sect was nothing. After all, the Holy Feather Sect was far inferior to the 12 divine sections. The most powerful sect master of the Holy Feather Sect, Moon Reflection Sect, was only a rank 7 true saint. Moreover, in the entire Holy Feather Sect, there was only one rank 7 true saint. Someone from the Purple Sky Pavilion? Elder Zixing's expression was ugly. However, he immediately said in a low voice, What does the fight within the Zhenwu country have to do with your Purple Sky Pavilion? How is it not related? Chui laughed coldly. Listen carefully. From now on, the Zhenwu country is already under the control of my Purple Sky Pavilion. Moreover, my Purple Cloud Pavilion has recognized Mu Feng as the new king of the Zhenwu country. Whoever dares to disobey will be going against my Purple Sky Pavilion. As soon as these words came out, the sixth prince's camp immediately had a commotion. If the Purple Sky Pavilion really had such an order, then not many people present would dare to disobey it. What a joke! Elder Zixing laughed coldly. Chapter 31:19. The Great War had begun. It's true that the Purple Cloud Pavilion is tyrannical. However, the territory controlled by the Purple Cloud Pavilion is far away from the true martial kingdom. How could the Purple Cloud Pavilion be interested in such a distant place? Moreover, the territory near the true martial kingdom is the territory of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Even if the Purple Cloud Pavilion really wants to extend their hand, they cannot treat the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion as a decoration. Elder Zixing looked at Chu Yi with a cold gaze. Therefore, I am certain that the genuine force country that you said is dependent on the Purple Cloud Pavilion is just empty words. Or perhaps, it is just the two of you making the decision on behalf of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. When they heard Elder Zixing's words, Chui Xiao and Deacon Long frowned. Humph, this old guy is quite smart. So what if these words are from the two of us? I am a core disciple of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Naturally, my words represent the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Chui laughed. Hee, a mere core disciple can't represent the entire Purple Cloud Pavilion. Even this rank 6 true saint beside you can't represent the entire Purple Cloud Pavilion. Elder Zixing snickered. A rank 6 true saint is merely a deacon in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. He can't even be considered as one of the upper echelons of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. If he wants to represent the Purple Cloud Pavilion, he must at least have an elder, who is at least a rank 7 true saint. The corner of Deacon Long's mouth twitched slightly. Elder Zixing was right. He was only a deacon, and his position in the Purple Cloud Pavilion was not high. Of course, he could not represent the Purple Cloud Pavilion. However, no matter what, he was still a genuine rank 6 true saint. He also cared about his face. Of course, he was a little angry that Elder Zixing had looked down on him in front of so many people. Cut the crap. The Purple Cloud Pavilion of the true martial kingdom is doomed. If you know what's good for you, get out of here. Anyone who still stays in this mansion in 15 minutes will be killed without mercy. Deacon Long shouted. Haha, what big words. A burst of laughter suddenly sounded. The evil master who had been standing beside Jian Wushuang stepped forward. He sneered and said, You are a deacon of the Purple Cloud Pavilion, right? How dare a mere deacon talk so brazenly, and kill you without mercy? Humph! If the pavilion master of the Purple Cloud Pavilion said this, I'm afraid he would have some courage. Boy, who are you? Deacon Long looked at the evil master. Although the evil master was only a rank 1 true saint, he was too confident. Even a rank 6 true saint like him dared to talk so brazenly, which made Deacon Long not dare to underestimate him. My name is the Evil Master, and this is Mirage Water. Both of us are from the Primitive Palace. Today, the two of us have decided to stay in this mansion and not leave. If you have the ability, you can directly kill the two of us later. The Evil Master sneered. Primitive Palace? Deacon Long's expression immediately changed. Of course, he knew about the Primitive Palace of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces. They were the genius disciples of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, and the Primitive Palace. Under normal circumstances, the geniuses of the Primitive Palace could become the disciples of some invincible saints. If they were lucky, they could even become the disciples of the Principal's Master. They would definitely have great achievements in the future. Such genius disciples, the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance paid great attention to them. Now the 2 genius disciples of the Primitive Palace were right in front of him. If he killed them, he could immediately imagine what would happen to him. Without a doubt, the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance would definitely kill him, and they would even vent their anger on the Purple Cloud Pavilion. And when the time came, forget about protecting him, the Purple Cloud Pavilion would probably think of ways to capture him, and personally send him to the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces to apologize. I absolutely can't kill these 2 people. Deacon Long had already made up his mind. He immediately said seriously, So they are the genius disciples of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces. For the sake of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces, I won't make things difficult for you, but everyone else must die. Do it. Deacon Long glanced at the 3rd prince beside him. The 3rd prince did not want to talk nonsense with the 6th prince for a long time. After hearing Deacon Long's words, he waved his hand. Except for the 2 geniuses of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces, kill everyone else without mercy. A cold voice reverberated in the sky. Instantly, the eyes of the 300+ experts behind the 3rd prince emitted a rainbow light. A shocking killing intent instantly swept out. Kill them all. All of these people must die. Numerous low cries reverberated in the sky. These over 300 experts all attacked at the same time. A terrifying aura that contained killing intent shot straight into the sky. A large number of experts attacked at the same time. The layers of arrays in the sky above this mansion could not withstand the attacks of so many experts and instantly collapsed. Once the array was broken, the experts from both camps faced each other. Attack, kill. 6th Prince also let out a fierce shout. Instantly, many experts from 6th Prince's camp also moved, including the Purple Blood camp. The Purple Blood camp was worthy of being 6th Prince's most elite force. The experts of the Purple Blood camp were not only strong individually, but they were also well trained and knew how to cooperate with each other. Although this small Purple Blood camp only had about 40 experts, the battle power that burst forth in an instant was extremely powerful. As soon as the 2 sides' experts came into contact, the Purple Blood camp charged at the front like a sharp knife. It directly charged into the 3rd Prince's camp, and then began to slaughter wantonly. The third prince's camp was actually instantly shattered into pieces by the Purple Blood camp's charge. After that, a fierce chaotic battle began. Kill! Kill! The shouts were deafening. Nearly 600 true saint experts from both camps were fighting each other. Jian Wushuang, the sixth prince Mu Qing, the evil master, Mirage Water, Elder Zixing, and Xanzong had not made a move yet. They just stood in the air above the mansion and looked at the battlefield. Sixth prince, the Purple Blood camp in your hands is quite powerful. There is a big gap between the two sides, but your Purple Blood camp has completely equalized the battlefield. The evil master looked at the battlefield in front of him. He laughed casually. The Purple Blood Battalion is the most elite force in the Zhenwu Kingdom. Father had given me this force in the beginning. However, after my father went missing, the Zhenwu Kingdom underwent a great change. Many soldiers in the Purple Blood Battalion defected. Some of them were pulled over by Third Brother. Moreover, during the battles between Third Brother and me, some of the soldiers also died. That is why there are only a few people left. However, even if there are only 40 or so soldiers left, the combat power of the Purple Blood Battalion is still very strong. All these years, the reason why I have been able to fight against the Third Elder has been because of the Purple Blood Battalion. The sixth prince said solemnly as he clenched his fists tightly together. The evil master raised his brows, but did not say anything more. At that moment, on the other side of the battlefield, Deacon Long's figure moved, and he charged straight toward the battlefield. Deacon Long moved and Elder Zixing immediately made his move as well. Chapter 31:20. The situation of the battle had changed. Elder Zixing's aura surged, and his entire body was covered in a layer of faint purple flames. He was like a purple god of war. He held a long spear tightly in his hand, and with a swipe of his hand, he instantly drew out a large sea of purple flames. In an instant, he appeared in the center of the battlefield. As for Deacon Long, he held my pitch-black long staff in his hand. His body was also suffused with a large amount of black light. This black light seemed to devour the surrounding heaven and earth, wanting to sink the entire heaven and earth into darkness. The two rank 6 true saints instantly engaged in a fierce battle. Boom! Boom! A shocking explosion instantly reverberated throughout the entire battlefield. As soon as the two of them exchanged blows, the terrifying power formed a shockwave, scaring the surrounding rank 3 and rank 4 true saints into fleeing. Even rank 5 true saints did not have the courage to appear around them. In just an instant, the two of them had already exchanged blows more than 10 times. A mere rank 6 true saint of the Holy Feather sect dares to act so arrogantly in front of this deacon. This deacon will let you know today that the sky is very big. Deacon Long's voice was cold. The long staff in his hand suddenly expanded and endless darkness surged, instantly extinguishing a large amount of purple sea of fire in front of him. Humph! Elder Zixing's expression was rather gloomy. After exchanging blows, he realized that although Deacon Long was also a rank 6 true saint, his battle prowess was slightly stronger than his. Of course, Deacon Long was not much stronger than him. He was not afraid of a head-on battle. Kill! With a stern shout, Elder Zixing and Deacon Long once again engaged in a fierce battle. The two instantly engaged in a heated battle. The two rank 6 true saints had their own battlefields, and no one dared to interfere with them. Of course, because the two of them were restraining each other, the two of them could not affect the other battlefields. Because of the Purple Blood camp, the entire battle could be said to be evenly matched. No obvious advantage could be seen. But at this moment on the other side of the void, the third Prince Mufeng coldly smiled. He glanced at the purple-robed middle-aged man beside him. Let them do it. Yes. The purple-robed middle-aged man nodded. In the next moment, he took out a token to send a message. In the middle of the battlefield, the battle between the two sides was originally raging. But at this moment, a sudden change occurred. Over 40 soldiers of the Purple Blood camp had originally gathered together to form an army formation that swept in all directions. But at this moment, 3 soldiers of the Purple Blood camp suddenly turned their spearheads and directly attacked their comrades beside them. Ong! 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 The timing of these 3 soldiers' attack was just right. Moreover, their weapons were obviously infused with that special poison. In this way, the 3 of them instantly killed 2 soldiers of the Purple Blood camp and heavily injured 1. Most importantly, the entire Purple Blood Battalion's army formation was completely thrown into chaos. Bastard! Damn it! Cries of shock and anger rang out one after another. It was not just the Purple Blood Battalion's side, but also the camp of the 6th Prince, who had been fighting fiercely in the air, suddenly had some people attacking their own experts. And there were quite a number of them. At least 10 people had betrayed at the same time. This group of bastards. The 6th Prince's face turned purple with anger when he saw this scene outside the battlefield. He had long known that the 3rd Prince had planted spies under his command, and he had also been on guard. However, he had never expected that the number of spies arranged by the 3rd Prince would actually be so great. There were more than 10 experts. Most importantly, within the Purple Blood camp, there were actually 3 people who had defected. One had to know that his side was at an absolute disadvantage in both camps. The reason why they were able to fight evenly with the 3rd Prince was because of the Purple Blood camp. Now that the 3 people in the Purple Blood camp had defected, this had dealt a huge blow to the Purple Blood camp. The Purple Blood camp's army formation instantly collapsed. It was the same as losing 6 soldiers in one breath, and their combat strength instantly decreased. Without the rampage of the Purple Blood camp, the disparity in strength between the 2 camps began to show. Kill! 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 Haha, kill them all! The experts of the 3rd Prince's camp became more aggressive and began to kill crazily. The 6th Prince's side was obviously completely suppressed and was about to be defeated. It's over. The 6th Prince's face was pale. How could this be? Mu Qing's body was trembling, but she could not help looking at Jian Wushuang. When the defeat was about to become permanent, Mu Qing could still hope for Jian Wushuang. Evil Master Mirage Water, Jian Wushuang said. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, Evil Master and Mirage Water immediately looked over. Do me a favor and take care of them for me, Jian Wushuang said. No problem. Evil Master and Mirage Water readily agreed. They were geniuses from the heaven-cleaving 3 palaces, Primitive Palace. Neither the 3rd Prince nor the Purple Cloud Pavilion dared to kill them. If they were not too weak and could not influence the situation, they would have already gone to kill them. Now that Jian Wushuang asked for their help, they naturally agreed without hesitation. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly, and then the Blood Mountain sword appeared in his hand. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, are you finally going to make a move? The Evil Master immediately looked forward to it. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, make a move. Mirage Water was also very excited. Jian Wushuang did not say anything, but he had already headed straight for the battlefield. He really made a move. The Evil Master and Mirage Water's eyes were shining brightly. This made the 6th Prince and the Green Prince beside them extremely puzzled. The 2 of you, from the looks of it, you seem to be looking forward to Mr. Heavenly Marquis' strength. But no matter what, Mr. Heavenly Marquis is only a rank 3 true saint. He won't be able to change the outcome of the battle? The 6th Prince said with a frown. What do you know? The Evil Master glanced at the 6th Prince. He said with a sneer. I'm afraid you don't know. A long time ago, Mirage Water and I fought against Mr. Heavenly Marquis. At that time, Mirage Water and the Mountain King were all rank 1 true saints. But the 3 of us were all geniuses from the Primitive Palace, and our battle prowess was extremely strong. Any one of the 3 of us could suppress a rank 3 true saint head-on. If we were lucky, we could even kill a rank 3 true saint head-on. However, at that time, the 3 of us were completely crushed by Mr. Heavenly Marquis. We didn't even have a chance to struggle. At that time, Mr. Heavenly Marquis was only a rank 1 true saint. Think about it, a rank 1 true saint is already so powerful. Now that Mr. Heavenly Marquis has reached the rank 3 true saint, how powerful is he? Hearing this, the 6th Prince and Green Prince were a little confused. A genius of the Primitive Palace could suppress, or even kill a rank 3 true saint at the rank 1 true saint realm. But 3 geniuses of the Primitive Palace working together were easily defeated by Jian Wushuang. who was only at the rank 1 true saint realm. The sixth prince was shocked, but he also looked forward to it. Chapter 31-21. Attack on the battlefield. The two camps were still engaged in a fierce battle. However, it was clear that the situation was completely under the control of the third prince's camp. At this time, Jian Wushuang, who was standing outside the battlefield, appeared in the middle of the battlefield with a sword in one hand. Another one is courting death. Kill him. As soon as Jian Wushuang appeared, two people immediately attacked him. The two people who attacked him were very strong. One was a peak rank 3 true saint, and the other was a rank 4 true saint. The two people appeared in front of Jian Wushuang, one on his left and one on his right. Die! With a shout, the two people attacked him at the same time. But suddenly Jian Wushuang, who was standing in the void, disappeared. Of course, he did not really disappear. It was just that he moved so fast that he seemed to have disappeared in the eyes of the two rank 3 and rank 4 true saints. Buzz! A hazy but beautiful sword shadow suddenly lit up. The sword shadow silently appeared beside the two people. Then, without any hindrance, it directly passed through their necks. The protective armor on the two of them was sliced apart like a piece of paper, and their two huge heads were sent flying. The peerless sword technique, Star Dream. Chi. The heads were sent flying, and the Blood Mountain Sword's evil god poison instantly entered their bodies and killed them. Terrifying. Too powerful. A rank 3 peak true saint and a rank 4 true saint were instantly killed. The evil master and Mirage Water, who were standing outside the battlefield, could not help but exclaim when they saw this scene. The sixth prince and the green prince were also shocked. However, the scene in front of them was just the beginning. After killing a peak rank 3 and a rank 4 true saint, Jian Wushuang moved again. Swish, 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 swish. One after another, silver lights flashed in the battlefield like silver ghosts at an incredible speed. At the same time, blurry but beautiful sword shadows lit up one after another. Chi, 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 chi. Heads were mercilessly thrown away. In just a moment, 6 people from the third prince's camp were beheaded by Jian Wushuang's Star Dream. Whoosh! Jian Wushuang's figure flashed again. This time, he appeared behind a rank 4 peak true saint. This rank 4 peak true saint had extraordinary strength. Even if he encountered a rank 5 true saint, he could barely hold on. However, when Jian Wushuang suddenly appeared, he was shocked, especially when Jian Wushuang's sword shadow lit up. The rank 4 peak true saint widened his eyes. This is too fast. I can't block it. I can't block this sword. The rank 4 peak true saint tried his best to block this sword, but he still could not block it. Chi. The sword shadow still mercilessly brushed past the neck of the rank 4 peak true saint, and the rank 4 true saint's head flew out. But in the next moment, the divine body of the rank 4 peak true saint was reassembled again. After the divine body was reassembled, the rank 4 peak true saint looked at Jian Wushuang in horror. It's too terrifying. Not only did his sword destroy my divine body, but the venom contained in it also destroyed nearly 80% of my divine power in an instant. I only have 20% of my divine power left. I can't withstand his next attack. Run! Without hesitation, the peak rank 4 true saint turned and fled. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang frowned slightly and did not chase after him. Sure enough, 3 drops of the evil god poison can easily kill an ordinary rank 4 true saint, but it's still not enough to kill a peak rank 4 true saint. Jian Wushuang sighed. He could only merge 3 drops of the evil god poison into the Blood Mountain Sword at one time, but the corrosive power of 3 drops of the evil god poison was not enough to completely kill a peak rank 4 true saint. This was something he had experienced outside the Jade Dragon mystic realm. He had already experienced it when he, Xiong Tao, and the others were assassinated. Jian Wushuang felt that it was a pity that he could not kill a peak rank 4 true saint with one strike. However, the evil master, Mirage Water, and the others outside the battlefield were extremely shocked. Even a peak rank 4 true saint could not block a strike from the Heaven Marquis. It's a pity that the level of the evil god poison used by the Heaven Marquis is still a little low. If he had used a higher level of venom, this peak rank 4 true saint would have definitely died with one strike. The evil master and Mirage Water were mumbling. A rank 3 true saint almost killed a peak stage rank 4 true saint. The sixth prince and the green prince looked at each other in dismay, as if they could not accept the result. On the battlefield, the slaughter continued. Jian Wushuang rushed into the battlefield and instantly killed nearly 10 rank 3 and rank 4 true saint experts from the third prince's camp. Of course, the experts of the third prince's camp had also caught this scene. The people of the third prince's camp naturally would not allow him to continue his unbridled slaughter. Junior, don't be so arrogant. A low shout suddenly exploded on the battlefield. A mountain-sized black-haired muscular man waved a huge axe and appeared in front of Jian Wushuang. The aura emitted by the burly man was extremely powerful. He had reached the level of a rank 5 true saint, and the aura was extremely violent. A rank 5 true saint? Jian Wushuang smiled, and a hint of fighting spirit flashed in his eyes. Whoosh! Jian Wushuang dashed out abruptly. The moment he dashed out, the star power in his body had already been activated. When the star power was activated, his divine power aura suddenly soared. Boom! Jian Wushuang's eyes were like lightning, and his momentum was overwhelming. He had already appeared in front of the black-haired muscular man. The black-haired muscular man also burst out in an instant. Junior died. The black-haired muscular man held the huge axe in both hands at the same time. The power of the huge axe was so strong that it seemed to be able to split heaven and earth. Whoosh! The axe shadow descended in a mighty and earth-shaking manner. Xixiang! Jian Wushuang's body was also filled with a violent aura. He pushed his divine power to the limit, and a blood-red sword light was instantly slashed out. Bang! A loud sound shook the heaven and earth. The black-haired man was indeed very strong. Not only was he a rank 5 true saint, but he had also created a rank 5 secret skill. Moreover, he was good at strength. The power of this axe was extremely powerful, let alone a rank 3 true saint. Even a rank 5 true saint of the same level could be crushed by his axe. Unfortunately, he met Jian Wushuang instead. It was true that Jian Wushuang was a rank 3 true saint, but his divine power had also reached the rank 5 true saint level. He had also used the Xixiang first move, which was also a move that was good at strength. Most importantly, Jian Wushuang had used the 7-star secret skill. The 7-star secret skill had raised Jian Wushuang's realm by half a level. He had instantly reached the limit of a rank 3 true saint, or even close to the level of a rank 4 true saint, and his strength had soared. Chapter 3122, Earth-Shattering. The secret skills of the same level were also met head-on. However, because of the 7-star secret skill, Jian Wushuang's burst of divine power had reached the peak of rank 5, completely surpassing the black-haired man. Therefore, in this collision, Jian Wushuang's Xixiang directly changed the direction of the giant axe in the black-haired man's hand, and a huge impact forced the black-haired man's divine body to retreat. At the moment when the black-haired man was pushed back, Jian Wushuang's speed had completely burst out. He directly chased after him and used the Star Dream move. The divine body of the black-haired man could not withstand Jian Wushuang's attack at all. Qi! The Blood Mountain sword directly passed through the divine body of the black-haired man and cut him in half. His divine body immediately collapsed. Once his divine body collapsed, the Blood Mountain sword only eroded part of the black-haired man's divine body. He was still alive. However, at this moment, Jian Wushuang pointed in the direction of the black-haired man. Spacetime divine skill, Void Annihilation. Boom! A terrifying spacetime storm suddenly swept out. This spacetime storm was the result of magnifying the destruction of spacetime by nearly 100 times. The massive spacetime storm stunned many experts on the battlefield, scaring many people into retreating. As for the black-haired muscular man in the spacetime storm, his body could not be reassembled at all. His divine power had been completely destroyed by the power of destruction. A rank 5 true saint had died instantly. Monster! He could kill a rank 5 true saint easily? Even Evil Master and Mirage Water, who knew that Jian Wushuang's battle strength was incredible, were stunned at this moment. As for Sixth Prince and Green Prince, they were completely dumbfounded. Especially the Green Prince. He finally understood why these two genius disciples from the primitive palace were so respectful of Jian Wushuang. Why was Sect Master Yue of the Holy Feather Sect so polite to Jian Wushuang, and even tried to curry favor with him? In addition, there was the previous attack. He and Yuan Chong were originally unable to escape from that attack. However, Jian Wushuang had blocked more than 30 experts such as Four God, giving them a chance to escape. At that time, Shi and Yuan Chong had believed Jian Wushuang's words that he was able to block the experts because he had strong life-saving skills and a treasure that could seal time and space for a short time. But now it seemed that Jian Wushuang did not need any life-saving skills. With his strength, how could the experts be able to do anything to him? Moreover, she did not see Four God at all when the Third Prince's army came. She did not even see any of the nearly 30 experts who came. This was obviously not logical. There was only one reason. That was that Four God and the others had all been killed. Thinking of this, Green Prince was even more shocked. On the battlefield, Jian Wushuang's slaughter shocked everyone. Many people were shocked. Who is that man? He is so powerful. A rank 3 true saint? How can there be such a terrifying rank 3 true saint in this world? He is too fast and his killing methods are too terrifying. He can kill a rank 5 true saint in an instant. If we let him go and slaughter, all of us will die. Quick, find someone to stop him. A peak rank 5 true saint. If we want to stop him, at least an expert at the peak of rank 5 will have to do it himself. Many shocked and angry voices echoed throughout the battlefield. Jian Wushuang's killing was too terrifying, especially when he killed a rank 5 true saint in an instant. The other rank 5 true saints in the Third Prince's camp were terrified and did not dare to fight with Jian Wushuang. On the battlefield, only a rank 5 peak true saint was qualified to stop Jian Wushuang. However, there were only 2 rank 5 peak true saints in the Third Prince's camp. One of them was fighting with Xing Gang, the commander of the Purple Blood Camp. The other one was also entangled by Xan Zong of the Holy Feather Sect. So there was no extra rank 5 peak true saint to spare. Without a rank 5 peak true saint to fight personally, ordinary rank 5 true saints would not dare to fight with Jian Wushuang, even if there were 2 or 3 of them. Damn it! How could Sixth Brother have such a terrifying genius? The Third Prince stood in the void with a cold expression and a gloomy aura. The situation on the battlefield had been completely under his control because of the spies he had planted. However, because of Jian Wushuang's appearance, the situation on the battlefield had been reversed again. The problem now was, if no one could stop Jian Wushuang, with his terrifying killing speed, it would not take long for him to kill all the experts under him. This person is indeed very powerful. An indifferent voice sounded. The person who spoke was naturally Chu Yixiao. Chu Yixiao was a disciple of the Purple Cloud Pavilion, and was a genius himself. He had a certain level of confidence in his talent. However, when he saw Jian Wushuang, he was not happy. They were both geniuses, but the gap between their talents was too great. Jian Wushuang was a rank 3 true saint, but he could easily kill a rank 5 true saint. His talent was incredible. In terms of talent and ability, no one I've met can match him. However, his talent doesn't mean that he will reach the peak in the future. After all, the divine beginning world is very dangerous. No matter how brilliant a genius is, he will die if he is not careful. Once he dies, there will be no difference between a genius and a loser. Chu Yixiao sneered. A strange light flashed in his eyes. Brother Yixiao, let's not talk about this now. We have to think of a way to stop him. Otherwise, we'll lose this battle. The Third Prince said anxiously. Don't worry. Since I've agreed to help you, I won't let anyone get in the way. At the very least, this rank 3 true saint won't cause any trouble. Chu Yixiao said with a smile. Brother Yixiao, what do you mean? The Third Prince immediately looked at Chu Yixiao. He's such a dazzling genius. Even I can't help but want to fight him head-on. Chu Yixiao laughed heartily. At the same time that he laughed, a majestic divine power aura suddenly rose from his body. This Chu Yixiao had once cultivated a technique to conceal his aura. So until now, No one had been able to see his specific level, and no one had paid attention to him. But now that he had taken the initiative to release his divine power aura, the people on the battlefield could see that Chu Yixiao was also a genuine rank 5 true saint. Even though his aura indicated that he had just become a rank 5 true saint, don't forget that he was a genius disciple of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Chapter 31-23. Chu Yixiao Mufeng, you just wait and see. Chu Yixiao smiled coldly, but a large amount of green divine lightning suddenly burst out from his body. These green divine lightning were incomparably violent, crackling and crackling, as they covered Chu Yixiao's entire body. In the blink of an eye, they actually formed a huge green lightning beast on Chu Yixiao's body. This green lightning beast was somewhat like a qilin. As Chu Yixiao moved, the cyan thunder beast roared and rushed out. In the center of the battlefield, Jian Wushuang was still wantonly killing. No one could stop him. His killing methods were so terrifying that no one in the third prince's camp could withstand his sword. In just a short while, more than a dozen experts had died at his hands. But at this moment, boom! A low roar sounded. Jian Wushuang instantly felt an extremely violent power pressing toward him. He turned his head and saw a huge cyan-colored thunder beast suddenly descending from the void, as if a thunder god had descended from the sky. The terrifying oppressive power was so strong that it made people click their tongues. At the same time, swish, swish, two cyan streamers also smashed out rapidly. These two cyan streamers were the two giant cyan hammers wielded by Chu Yixiao. These two cyan giant hammers were not circular hammers, but similar to hammers, but their power was still extremely terrifying. Seeing these two cyan streamers smashing towards him, Jian Wushuang's pupils constricted, but he threw out the Blood Mountain sword in his hand. It was the peerless sword technique Shixiang. Clang, clang. Two consecutive sounds of collision rang out. The first was the sound of one of the giant cyan hammers smashing into Jian Wushuang's Blood Mountain sword, causing the sword to tremble violently and retreat. The second sound was the sound of another giant cyan hammer smashing towards Jian Wushuang again, which sent him flying. Jian Wushuang retreated like a cannonball. He was forced to the edge of the battlefield before he stopped. After he stopped, he looked at his numb palm, and his eyes became sharp. Finally, a decent opponent? Jian Wushuang looked at Chu Yixiao, who was covered by the cyan thunder beast, and a faint smile appeared on his face. Although he had killed more than 10 experts, he had never met a real opponent. Even the rank 5 true saint was easily killed by him. It did not bring him any pressure at all. One had to know that the reason why Jian Wushuang accepted this heaven-level mission was not only to allow him to cultivate freely, but also to have proper training. But he had never had such training before. But now, the appearance of Chu Yixiao made him feel a hint of fighting spirit. Boy, you must have enjoyed the killing just now, right? Chu Yixiao's eyes shot out as he stared at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang did not say anything, but his body had already rushed out in an instant. Swish, 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 swish. Streaks of silver light burst out, and Jian Wushuang's speed was pushed to the limit. The speed was so fast that ordinary rank 5 true saints could not catch his tracks at all. However, Chu Yixiao snorted. Soon after, streaks of green lightning could be seen flashing in the void, and their speed was also extremely fast. Clang! Suddenly, Jian Wushuang and Chu Yixiao fought again. It was also a collision of power, but Jian Wushuang was sent flying again. He is as fast as me, and his instantaneous power is even stronger than mine. Jian Wushuang frowned slightly. His divine power is only at the level of an ordinary rank 5 true saint, and it seems that he has just reached the level of a rank 5 true saint. But his battle strength is even stronger than that of an ordinary peak rank 5 true saint. Is he from the Purple Cloud Pavilion? Jian Wushuang knew very well that some genius experts could not be measured purely by their realms. For example, Evil Master, Mirage Water, and the others were only at the level of a rank 1 true saint, but their real battle strength surpassed that of most rank 3 true saints. For example, he was only a rank 3 true saint, but he could easily kill a rank 5 true saint. Chu Yixiao was one of the genius disciples of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Although his ability to jump realms was not too outrageous, with his cultivation of a rank 5 true saint realm and some secret skills, he could easily kill a rank 5 true saint. He was able to increase the power of his divine power to the level of a rank 5 peak true saint. In addition, he had a high comprehension of laws and created a peak rank 5 absolute art. The collision of pure strength and power is indeed stronger than Jian Wushuang. After all, Jian Wushuang's divine power was at the peak of rank 5, but his ultimate skill, Shi Xiang, had just reached rank 5, which was still far from the peak of rank 5. Boy, I don't know your name, but I could tell when you attacked. You are strong and can kill a rank 5 true saint, but the reason why you can kill so many experts so easily is because of your speed and unique swordsmanship. Your swordsmanship is very good at killing. You can easily tear apart ordinary protective armor. In addition, you can infuse special venom into your swordsmanship to kill a rank 3, rank 4, or even rank 5 true saint. But as long as someone can keep up with your speed, your ability to kill will be greatly reduced. As for the competition of strength, you are still far from being comparable to an ordinary peak true saint. Chu Yixiao's cold laughter echoed between heaven and earth. During the slaughter that Jian Wushuang had just launched, he had already roughly grasped Jian Wushuang's strength. That was why he was so confident in front of Mu Feng, because he was sure that he could easily crush Jian Wushuang. His speed was no slower than Jian Wushuang's. In terms of divine power and power, he was obviously stronger than Jian Wushuang. Hearing Chu Yixiao's words, Jian Wushuang smiled coldly and said, "Are you sure you are stronger than me in terms of strength?" As soon as he finished speaking, Jian Wushuang suddenly raised his hand. Buzz! 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 Streams of purple light suddenly rushed out. Upon closer inspection, they turned out to be sharp purple soft swords. These purple soft swords were called purple demon swords, which Jian Wushuang had exchanged for at a great price in the treasure pavilion of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. Each purple demon sword had reached the level of a first-grade holy treasure, and it was an advanced first-grade holy treasure. Moreover, the purple demon swords complemented the reincarnation principles, so they were most suitable for the use of the reincarnation principles. Now Jian Wushuang took out 18 purple demon swords in one breath. With a thought from Jian Wushuang, the 18 purple demon swords quickly combined and formed a cross-shaped purple sword in the blink of an eye. The purple sword was like a purple demonic charm. Chapter 3124, Fury Go! Jian Wushuang pointed with one hand, and the purple sword instantly shot out. The surrounding people only saw a flash of purple light. The purple light was very weak and small, like a needle, or to be exact, a hair. However, the speed and power of the purple light, which was as small as a hair, was extremely powerful. It was the 7th layer of the Samsara sword formation, a strand of emotion. Chu Yixiao stared at the purple light that was shooting towards him. His eyes darkened, and in the next moment, the giant hammer in his hand fiercely smashed out. Like a green thunderbolt, the giant hammer directly smashed onto the demonic purple light. Bang! With a loud sound, the expression on Chu Yixiao's face froze. He had already sensed the terrifying power contained within that seemingly weak purple light. When the power collided with the giant hammer, a strong impact immediately spread out, causing Chu Yixiao to retreat 3 steps on the spot. However, the purple light only trembled slightly, and then continued to attack him. What is it? Chu Yixiao's expression changed, and he had to swing the giant hammer in his hand again, in an attempt to smash the purple light away. However, the purple light was the 7th reincarnation sword formation that Jian Wushuang was fully controlling. It should be known that Jian Wushuang had already reached the 3rd stage of comprehending the reincarnation principles before entering the heaven-cleaving mystic realm. He could already use the 7th sword formation. Later, he stayed in the heaven-cleaving mystic realm for a full 60 years. During these 60 years, he was completely immersed in the secret skill, 6 Paths of Reincarnation, which was a secret skill that used reincarnation principles. During those 60 years, Jian Wushuang had made great progress in reincarnation principles, which was amazing. Now, his comprehension of reincarnation principles was far above the comprehension of space-time principles. His comprehension of the space-time principles was only at the level of an ordinary rank 5 true saint, but his comprehension of the reincarnation principles was stronger than that of an ordinary rank 5 peak true saint. With such a high comprehension of the samsara principles, Jian Wushuang could already use the ultimate power of the heavy sword formation with the 7th reincarnation sword formation. Therefore, what Chu Yixiao was seeing now was the ultimate power and the most complete love thread. With the same divine power, Chu Yixiao could barely compete with the purple light, even if he used all his strength to use his peak rank 5 secret skill. However, Jian Wushuang could control the reincarnation sword formation with his mind. It was much easier than Chu Yixiao swinging his giant hammer. Bang! 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 In the center of the battlefield, Chu Yixiao swung his giant hammer and collided with the purple light again and again. However, he did not have any advantage in each collision. The purple light kept charging at him crazily. Chu Yixiao was forced to wave his hands again and again. Not only did he consume a lot of divine power, but his divine body was also impacted by each collision. He looked a little embarrassed. Damn it, what kind of sword formation is this? How can it be so powerful? Chu Yixiao's face was unsightly. At this moment, Jian Wushuang, who had been controlling the sword formation with his mind, suddenly moved. Buzz! Buzz! One after another, strange figures suddenly burst out. At this moment, hundreds and thousands of Jian Wushuang appeared in the world, making it impossible to tell whether they were real or fake. Then, he took a step forward, and the Blood Mountain sword in his hand fell straight down. A sword shadow flashed and then disappeared. The Peerless Sword Manual, the Instant of Life and Death. Fast, too fast. Among the 7 sword moves of the Peerless Sword Manual, the Instant of Life and Death was the fastest sword move, and it was also a sure-kill sword move. In a head-on confrontation, this sword move could completely kill the opponent without the opponent having time to react. Back in the Young Divine Sect, he had used this sword to kill Bai Shao, a genius of the Dao Palace, with the same divine power. But now Jian Wushuang's sword was even faster in a real battle, making it even more difficult for people to react. At least Chu Yixiao, who was constantly clashing with the reincarnation sword formation, did not have time to react. Whoosh! The sword light directly brushed past Chu Yixiao's body. The armor on Chu Yixiao's body was obviously much more advanced than that of an ordinary expert. Although Jian Wushuang's Blood Mountain sword was extremely sharp, it only barely tore a crack on the armor. It only barely tore Chu Yixiao's skin, but it could not go deeper. Chu Yixiao's divine body did not directly collapse, but because of the tearing of his skin, the 3 drops of evil god poison that had merged with the Blood Mountain sword instantly entered his divine body and began to madly erode his divine power. After all, Chu Yixiao was a rank 5 true saint and a genius. His divine power was much stronger than that of an ordinary rank 5 true saint. The 3 drops of evil god poison had only eroded 10% of Chu Yixiao's divine power. Even so, it still made Chu Yixiao furious. Bastard! Chu Yixiao was really furious. He was a rank 5 true saint, and a genius disciple of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. However, when he fought with a rank 3 true saint, his armor was torn by his opponent, and his skin was torn by the sword light. Fortunately, the evil god poison that Jian Wushuang had fused with the sword seed was not high level, so it could only erode 10% of his divine power. If it was a higher level venom, then this sword could kill him directly? When he thought about how he almost died at Jian Wushuang's hands, he flew into a rage. Boy, you have succeeded in provoking me. Chu Yixiao's voice was cold, and his eyes were shining with endless cold light. His aura had also become completely cold. Endless cyan divine thunder burst out from his body. At this moment he seemed to have transformed into a real thunder god. Jian Wushuang's pupils constricted, and the cross-shaped reincarnation sword formation floated in front of him. He could sense Chu Yixiao's rage, and he could also see that Chu Yixiao was preparing a very powerful attack. Die! Chu Yixia roared and attacked. His body suddenly shook, and endless green lightning burst out from his body, instantly forming a cyan giant that was 1,000 feet tall. The cyan giant was completely formed by violent green divine thunder. After it took shape, it let out a roar and immediately swooped down. The cyan giant also had a giant cyan hammer in its hand. Crackling, crackling, the divine thunder gathered, and endless power was condensed in this hammer. The power of this hammer alone made Jian Wushuang's face change. However, in the next moment, Jian Wushuang raised his hand, and the space-time power suddenly burst out with endless divine power. Space-time divine skill. One-finger void suppression skill. Boom! A huge space-time storm formed in the void in front of the cyan giant. The cyan giant had just swooped down when it was completely engulfed by the space-time storm, and then the terrifying destructive power burst out. Chapter 3125. God-slaying nail_boom. The space-annihilating finger skill could destroy everything. This move was created by the Space-Time Temple Master. It was extremely powerful. Previously, Jian Wushuang had defeated his opponent's divine body. When his opponent had sufficient divine body, he would use this move to completely kill his opponent. But in fact, the real use of this move was much more than that. Now, when the finger void annihilation skill was used, the cyan giant fell into the temporal storm, and the endless cyan divine thunder was destroyed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Buzz! The world calmed down again. The temporal storm had disappeared, but the cyan giant was also completely destroyed. Just when everyone thought that Chu Yixio's most powerful attack, which he had spent a long time to accumulate, had been neutralized by Jian Wushuang, a dark light suddenly shot out from the void in front of him. This dark light was too fast. It was almost as fast as Jian Wushuang's most powerful sword attack, life and death. Moreover, this dark light was too sudden. The appearance of the light was beyond everyone's expectations, including Jian Wushuang. He had just used the void annihilation technique to annihilate the cyan giant when the light came straight at him. It was so fast that he did not have time to block it. Bang! The light directly hit Jian Wushuang's divine body. When it came into contact with the divine body, Jian Wushuang could see the original appearance of the light. It turned out to be a pitch-black nail, emitting an extremely evil and cold aura. When the pitch-black nail hit Jian Wushuang's divine body, Jian Wushuang immediately felt a terrible impact, causing him to retreat subconsciously. While he was retreating, the pitch-black nail was still crazily attacking his body. Jian Wushuang was also wearing protective armor, which was his natal armor, the golden armor. As his strength increased, the golden armor became more and more advanced. It was now a first-grade holy treasure, and because it had fused with his blood essence, it was very strong and sturdy. However, as the pitch-black nail continued to attack, the sharp part of the nail pierced a small hole in the golden armor, and then Jian Wushuang's skin. In the next moment, the pitch-black nail turned into a pitch-black light beam and entered Jian Wushuang's divine body. Jian Wushuang suddenly stopped in the void, and then closed his eyes, as if he was enduring a terrible attack. In the void in front of him, Chu Yixia looked at Jian Wushuang and smiled coldly. This kid is indeed powerful. He easily neutralized my strongest attack, but he couldn't block my god-killing nail. The god-killing nail was made by my master. Even with my master's skills, it was not easy to make it. Therefore each nail is very rare. It was not easy for me to ask my master to make one for me. This God Punisher nail contains a terrifying hex poison that can easily destroy divine power. Let alone a rank 3 true saint. Even a peak rank 5 true saint, or a rank 6 true saint would die if their skin was pierced by the God Punisher nail. Therefore this kid is dead for sure. Chu Yixio's brows were filled with absolute confidence. This confidence came from the God-slaying nail and his master. His master had said that even a rank 6 true saint would die if his skin was pierced by the God-slaying nail, not to mention Jian Wushuang, a rank 3 true saint. In fact, it was only the reward given by third Prince Mu Feng, so he was not qualified to use the God-slaying nail. Because it was very difficult to refine the God-slaying nail, he only had one. Once he used it, there would be no more. In the future, it would be very difficult for him to find his master to refine a second one for him. So, he had been trying to use the God-killing nail as his last trump card. The reason why he used the God-killing nail now was not only because Jian Wushuang had just injured him and made him furious, but also because he wanted the treasure on Jian Wushuang. This kid is only a rank 3 true saint, but his battle strength is stronger than an ordinary peak rank 5 true saint. I've never heard of such a heaven-defying genius before. Under normal circumstances, such a heaven-defying genius must have gotten a lot of opportunities. He must have a big secret. As long as I kill him and take his interspatial ring, I might be able to find the reason why he is so dazzling and heaven-defying in his interspatial ring. Chu Yixio's eyes sparkled with excitement and excitement. If he were an ordinary genius, he would not have used the God-killing nail. But Jian Wushuang was definitely worth killing with it. I wonder what secret this kid is hiding. Chu Yixiao began to guess Jian Wushuang's secret. But at this moment, Jian Wushuang, who had been standing in front of him with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. The moment he opened his eyes, 2 faint electric lights shot out. What? Chu Yixio's face suddenly changed. Not dead. How is that possible? Master said clearly that even a rank 6 true saint would die if he encountered the God-killing nail. How could a rank 3 true saint like him survive? Chu Yixiao could not understand it at all. What he did not know was that not only did Jian Wushuang not die, but he was also completely fine. Although the God-killing nail had entered his body, it did not cause him any harm at all. After all, the God-killing nail was terrifying, because it contained a terrifying voodoo poison. The voodoo poison was enough to vaporize the divine power of a rank 6 true saint. An ordinary rank 6 true saint would have a hard time surviving the God-killing nail. Even a peak rank 6 true saint would be half dead under the God-killing nail. However, Jian Wushuang was different. Jian Wushuang was a perfect chaotic creature. His physique was invulnerable to fire and water, and he was immune to all poisons. He had a natural resistance to all kinds of poisons and voodoo poisons. Even the most powerful poisons in the divine beginning world could not hurt him at all. The voodoo poison in the God-slaying nail was nothing. Therefore, when the God-slaying nail entered Jian Wushuang's body, the poison was quickly assimilated by the divine power in his body. He was not affected at all. As for closing his eyes, it was just a show for Chu Yixiao to see. After all, he was a rank 3 true saint. It would be strange if he did not have any reaction after being poisoned by the God-killing nail. Although Chu Yixio's God-killing nail did not affect him, the impact of the God-killing nail still aroused Jian Wushuang's anger. Chapter 3126. Killing intent. The black nail just now was very strange and terrifying. If I didn't have a special constitution and ignored all kinds of poisons, I might have died at the hands of this person. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. He stared at Chu Yixiao in front of him, but there was a faint layer of killing intent condensed on his body. He had always been a person who would not offend others if they did not offend him. Chu Yixiao clearly wanted to kill him just now, so of course, he would not be merciful now. Buzz! The world shook. The raging flame, mixed with endless white ice fog, produced endless power of ice and fire, rising from Jian Wushuang's body. The 2 natural powers of ice and fire perfectly fused together. The power of ice and fire swept wildly in all directions. In the blink of an eye, it covered the entire world, forming a huge world of ice and fire. The world of ice and fire, with Jian Wushuang as its core, was astonishingly vast. The power of the ice and fire swimming dragon ruler, a domain-type supreme treasure, began to show in Jian Wushuang's hands. This was a true treasure. Under normal circumstances, only principal's masters were qualified to have a true treasure, and it was an extremely precious domain-type true treasure. Although Jian Wushuang was too weak to fully display the power of this true treasure, it was still terrifying to only show a part of it. With a thought from Jian Wushuang, the endless power of ice and fire rose and pressed toward Chu Yixiao crazily. Chu Yixio's body shook immediately. He felt as if he was about to be burned into ashes or frozen into an ice sculpture. A huge pressure was exerted on his body. What is this? A domain? But how can this domain be so powerful? Chu Yixiao was shocked. This domain was indeed too powerful. Jian Wushuang was using the full strength of the ice and fire domain, with the divine power of a true saint at the peak of the 5th rank, while Chu Yixiao was only at the peak of the 5th rank. With the same divine power, the power of the ice and fire realm was shocking. 40%. My strength has been suppressed by 40%. How is this possible? Did he use a superior grade domain type holy treasure? Chu Yixiao was shocked. Jian Wushuang did not waste any more words with him. The power of ice and fire suppressed Chu Yixiao crazily. The cross-shaped purple light in front of him flickered, and then whoosh. The purple light instantly shot out. It was the 7th level of the Samsara sword formation, a thread of love. Get lost. Chu Yixiao waved the cyan giant hammer in his hand, trying to push back the purple light. However, under the pressure of the ice and fire domain, he could only use 60% of his strength and 60% of the power of the hammer to collide with the purple light. As a result, the impact force contained in the purple light changed the direction of the giant hammer at the first moment. Jian Wushuang, who was at the back, flashed and unleashed his silver light movement technique. Whoosh! A hazy but beautiful sword light lit up. It was the Peerless Sword Manual Star Dream. Under the pressure of the domain, Chu Yixiao's speed was greatly reduced. He could not keep up with Jian Wushuang's speed at all, so naturally, he could not block Jian Wushuang's swordsmanship. Qi. The sword light passed through Chu Yixiao's divine body. Although it did not directly cut Chu Yixiao's divine body into two, the ice-cold sword edge had already torn open the armor on Chu Yixiao's body, and even cut open his skin. 3 drops of the evil god poison surged into Chu Yixiao's body. Chu Yixiao's body trembled, and another 10% of his divine power was eroded. Previously, Jian Wushuang's swordsmanship had torn open the armor on his body once, and eroded 10% of his divine power. Adding this 10%, it was 20% of his divine power. In addition, he had used his most powerful move while riding on the sword. He had used up 20% of his divine power to control the god-slaying nail. In other words, Chu Yixiao had used up 40% of his divine power. No, I can't keep up with his speed under the pressure of this realm. I'll be his target if I fight with him. One sword strike from him is enough to make me lose 10% of my divine power. I only have 60% of my divine power left. In other words, he only needs to use 6 more sword strikes to kill me. No. Chu Yixiao's expression changed drastically. As a genius disciple of Purple Cloud Pavilion, he did not take Jian Wushuang seriously at first, but now he was completely flustered. Stop. I'm not going to interfere in this matter. Stop right now. Chu Yixiao shouted. However, Jian Wushuang did not pay any attention to him and did not stop at all. On the surface, he suppressed Chu Yixiao with the 7th reincarnation sword formation. Then he took the opportunity to display his swordsmanship, which made Chu Yixiao unable to resist him. Qi. Another sword attack was launched, and Chu Yixiao only had 50% of his divine power left. Boy! I am one of the outstanding genius disciples of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. My master is the Purple Cloud Pavilion's Heart Witch Elder, a super expert close to the peak of rank 7. If you dare to kill me, the Purple Cloud Pavilion, and my master will never let you go. Stop. Let's stop now. You and I will have a better life. Otherwise, if I die, you will die too. Chu Yixiao shouted again. You are about to die, and you still threaten me? Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold, but the killing intent in his body had reached its peak. He still did not stop. Around the battlefield, the evil master and Mirage Water had been staring at Jian Wushuang. While they were in awe and admiration, they also heard Chu Yixiao's words. They immediately sneered. This idiot, he's already come this far. Yet he still wants to use the Purple Heaven Pavilion to suppress the Heaven Marquee. What a joke. Purple Heaven Pavilion? It's only dominating in the 1st heaven, but it's nothing in the 2nd heaven or 3rd heaven. In front of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, it's as weak as an ant. What kind of status does the Heaven Marquee have to care about the Purple Heaven Pavilion? Both Evil Master and Mirage Water were disdainful. Although Jian Wushuang was not a genius disciple of the heaven-cleaving three palaces, the fact that the three palace masters could make an exception for him to enter the heaven-cleaving mystic realm was enough to make him a powerful figure in the heaven-cleaving alliance. Many high-level experts of the heaven-cleaving alliance were paying attention to him. Compared to the heaven-cleaving alliance, the Purple Cloud Pavilion was nothing. Even Evil Master and Mirage Water, two disciples of the primitive palace, did not care about the Purple Cloud Pavilion, so why should Jian Wushuang care? Die! Jian Wushuang's figure was cold, and the Blood Mountain sword in his hand struck out again and again. Chu Yixiao, who was suppressed by the domain, could not resist at all. Chi! In the blink of an eye, Chu Yixiao had less than 20% of his divine power left. With less than 20% of his divine power, Jian Wushuang only needed 2 strikes to kill him. Stop! Spare me, spare my life. Deacon Long, save me, quickly save me. Chu Yixiao's laughter was extremely shrill. He screamed crazily and also called Deacon Long to help him. Chapter 31-27. Rank 6. Deacon Long, save me quickly. Chu Yixiao's shrill cry reverberated throughout the entire battlefield, and Deacon Long naturally heard it. When he saw that Chu Yixiao was already in a life-and-death situation, his expression immediately changed drastically. Damn it! The dark aura on Deacon Long's body suddenly surged up. Get lost! With an explosive shout, the pitch-black long staff in Deacon Long's hand suddenly turned into a huge black snake. He swung it out angrily, and its power suddenly soared. Elder Zixing, who was fighting Deacon Long, was 1 level weaker than Deacon Long previously. He had barely managed to hold off Deacon Long. Now that Deacon Long had suddenly erupted, Elder Zixing was shocked and quickly waved his spear to block. However, the power contained in the pitch-black spear was beyond Elder Zixing's expectation. Elder Zixing was sent flying by the strike. Seeing Elder Zixing being sent flying, Deacon Long did not chase after him. Instead, he immediately turned around and rushed toward Chu Yixiao. However, when he turned around, Jian Wushuang had already struck again, and the sword light passed through Chu Yixiao's divine body again. Chu Yixiao only had less than 10% of his divine power left. 1 more strike and he would die completely. No. Chu Yixiao had gone completely mad, and his voice was hysterical. He stared at Deacon Long, who was his last hope. In front of him, Jian Wushuang had attacked again. Young man, how dare you? Deacon Long shouted, and the mighty divine power of a rank 6 true saint pressed toward Jian Wushuang. However, Jian Wushuang was calm under the divine power, as if he was not affected at all. He snorted and moved again. Whoosh! The last sword attack was launched. Chu Yixiao could not block this sword attack, and Deacon Long was still a distance away, so he could not catch up. No! Chu Yixiao's eyes were wide open as he watched the sword light pass by him. Then, the 3 drops of the evil god poison in the sword instantly eroded less than 10% of his divine power. There was not even a trace left. All the divine power was completely eroded away. Chu Yixiao's divine body immediately collapsed. His life force was also instantly cut off. He could not be any more dead. Junior, you're courting death. Deacon Long was completely enraged when he saw that Chu Yixiao was killed. Although he did not have any friendship with Chu Yixiao, he would not feel sorry for Chu Yixiao's death. But no matter what, Chu Yixiao was still one of the genius disciples of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. This time, he came out with Chu Yixiao, but Chu Yixiao died. As a deacon, it was naturally difficult for him to escape responsibility. When he returned to the Purple Cloud Pavilion, he would definitely be severely punished. Especially since Chu Yixiao had an extremely protective master behind him. That master was famous for his ruthlessness and evilness. If that master knew that Chu Yixiao died right under his nose, it was very likely that he would tear him apart alive. There was only one possibility for him to survive. Kill him. Kill this junior and avenge Chu Yixiao so that he won't die with me. Thinking of this, Deacon Long's eyes immediately turned scarlet. Boom! A rank 6 true saint appeared in front of Jian Wushuang. Before he could attack, His earth-shaking power had already completely covered Jian Wushuang. Oh no! Mr. Heavenly Marquis! Retreat! Evil Master, Mirage Water and Green Prince, who were outside the battlefield, saw this scene and turned pale with fright. They repeatedly cried out for Jian Wushuang to retreat. Evil Master even asked Elder Zixing to rush over to help Jian Wushuang. Elder Zixing had rushed over as fast as he could. However, he had been sent flying by Deacon Long. When he stood firm and rushed over, he was naturally slower. At this time, Deacon Long had already made his move. Die! Deacon Long's entire body turned into the boundless darkness. The surrounding world had also turned completely dark, as if it had completely sunk into darkness. And in this boundless darkness, the black long staff in Deacon Long's hand was like a huge black thunderbolt as it swung down fiercely. Bang! The long staff smashed down fiercely, and in an instant, it seemed to have brought along the power of the entire surrounding world of darkness. The world was attracted by the staff. The power of the roll was shocking. Rank 6 True Saint. Jian Wushuang raised his head and stared at the fierce long staff in front of him. But his eyes flashed with a glimmer that had never been seen before. Rank 6 True Saint, he had been longing for it for a long time. Come on! Jian Wushuang was not afraid at all. His divine power surged, and he exerted his strength to the maximum. In front of him, the reincarnation sword formation formed by 18 purple demon swords instantly turned into a purple light and shot out first. The purple light was equally powerful. It first collided with the black long staff. This collision bang, with a loud sound, the purple light directly collapsed and turned into purple demon swords again. The 7th reincarnation sword formation that Jian Wushuang controlled at this stage was instantly destroyed by the black long staff. After the reincarnation sword formation was destroyed, the black staff continued to attack Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang held the Blood Mountain sword with both hands at the same time. Whoosh! A blood-red sword light instantly slashed out. Wushuang sword manual Shixiang. Clang! The black staff and the Blood Mountain sword collided. At the moment of collision, Jian Wushuang felt an amazing power from the black staff. This power completely crushed him. In an instant boom, Jian Wushuang fell from the sky like a meteorite, and then directly smashed into the ground, creating a huge hole on the ground. This scene caused the entire battlefield to fall into a short period of silence. Almost everyone on the battlefield had their eyes focused on him. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, Evil Master and Mirage Water were both shocked. Long Lu, you are a rank 6 true saint, and one of the top among the immortal saints. How could you attack a rank 3 true saint yourself? You must be ashamed of yourself. Elder Zixing finally rushed over. His face was full of anger. He dared to kill a genius disciple of our Purple Cloud Pavilion. He must die. Deacon Long shouted in a low voice, his face extremely cold. But at this moment, boom! The ground was suddenly lifted up, and then a figure rushed out again. It was Jian Wushuang, who had just been smashed down. He returned to the void and stood in front of Deacon Long. His aura was still very strong. At this moment, his eyes were shining with an unprecedented light as he stared at Deacon Long with bright eyes. A rank 6 true saint is indeed powerful. I've already received your strike. In response, you should receive my strike as well. Chapter 31:28. The outcome was set. I've just received your strike. In response, you should receive my strike as well. Jian Wushuang's voice echoed in the world. Behind him, a large amount of golden divine power began to gather crazily. In the blink of an eye, it formed a 30,000-meter tall golden emperor phantom. At the same time, a layer of dark gold armor appeared on his body. The divine punishment god and the 9 luminaries star armor were used at the same time. These two secret skills had a great effect on Jian Wushuang's strength, especially the 9 luminaries star armor, which was in the heavenly armor chapter. It had increased Jian Wushuang's attack power by 12 times. 12 times? What kind of concept was that? Because he had used the 7-star secret skill. His divine power had reached the level of a peak rank 5 true saint. Now he had used the divine punishment god and 9 luminaries star armor, as well as the supreme sword essence guided by the Blood Mountain sword. At this moment, his divine power was comparable to that of an ordinary rank 6 true saint. Rumble! The terrifying divine power crazily rushed in all directions. The surrounding void suddenly became cold. It was cold to the bottom of the valley, extremely cold. The entire vast world seemed to have been completely silent in an ice cave. Jian Wushuang slowly raised the Blood Mountain sword in his hand. The sword was placed horizontally in front of him. However, this simple act of raising the sword instantly stirred up the surrounding space and time, turning the surrounding void completely blood-red. The blood-red sky, the blood-red earth, and even the air were filled with a large amount of blood fog. The surrounding experts even seemed to see the bones under Jian Wushuang's feet forming a blood sea. The shocking killing intent soared to the sky, making everyone's heart palpitate. At this moment, Jian Wushuang was no longer a human cultivator, but an Azura that had transformed into hell. It was a blood-red Azura. The blood-red Azura raised the sword in its hand and slowly slashed out. The simple slash seemed to contain no power. However, the moment the Blood Mountain sword was slashed out, the surrounding people were all shocked. It was the peerless sword manual Blood Azura. Among the 7 sword moves, it was the strongest and the move that Jian Wushuang was most proud of. Deacon Long stood in the void in front of Jian Wushuang and watched Jian Wushuang strike. The moment Jian Wushuang struck, even his expression could not help but change. However, in his heart he still did not put Jian Wushuang, a mere rank 3 true saint, in his eyes. Until the sword completely descended. Buzz! A wave of space-time power came toward him without any warning. The appearance of this wave of space-time power caused the void where Deacon Long was standing to stop completely. Space-time stagnation. This was the most terrifying aspect of Blood Azura's sword move. Even Deacon Long, a rank 6 true saint, had a moment of space-time stagnation under Jian Wushuang's move. This moment of space-time stagnation slowed his reaction by half a beat. When he came back to his senses, the terrifying blood-red sword had already arrived in front of him. Deacon Long was stunned. He could only raise the pitch-black long staff in his hand subconsciously and put it horizontally in front of his chest. Clang! The blood-red sword light struck the long staff head-on. A strong force was exerted, causing the staff to press down on Deacon Long's divine body. Deacon Long's body suddenly shook, and he staggered back 3 steps. Every step he took stomped heavily on the void as if the void was about to explode. After he steadied himself, Deacon Long raised his head again and looked at Jian Wushuang. His eyes were full of anger, but there was also a hint of shock hidden in his eyes. After all, he was a genuine rank 6 true saint, while Jian Wushuang was only a rank 3 true saint. However, Jian Wushuang had forced him to retreat. It was a direct retreat, not a sneak attack. This kid! Deacon Long's eyes were cold, and his killing intent soared to the sky. However, before he could attack again, Elder Zixing had already appeared beside Jian Wushuang. Get lost! Deacon Long glared at Elder Zixing. Long Lu, you are a rank 6 true saint, but you were forced to retreat by a rank 3 true saint. Do you still have the face to stay here? If I were you, I would have run far away. Elder Zixing smiled coldly. However, a storm had already stirred in his heart. Deacon Long's expression sank. His face was burning as his thoughts raced. He said, "Very good. With the people from the Holy Feather sect here today, I won't be able to kill you. However, don't think that this will be the end of it. You killed a core disciple of my Purple Cloud Pavilion. No matter where you run to, my Purple Cloud Pavilion will definitely kill you." With a cold snort, this Deacon Long directly turned around and left into the distant void under the gazes of everyone around him. As for the third prince and the others, Deacon Long could not be bothered to pay attention to them. Deacon Long! Seeing Deacon Long leave, the third prince and the experts under him all panicked. Deacon Long was their greatest reliance. Only with Deacon Long around, they could contend against Elder Zixing of the Holy Feather sect. But now that Deacon Long had left, who in the third prince's camp could stop Elder Zixing? An expert of the rank 6 true saint realm and Jian Wushuang, a terrifying rank 3 true saint, were enough to completely slaughter their own camp. Kill them all. In contrast to the third prince's camp, the sixth prince's camp was overjoyed when they saw Deacon Long leave. Their morale rose to the highest point. They began to kill the experts of the third prince's camp in a frenzy. The third prince's camp had long lost its backbone, and in the blink of an eye, it was on the verge of collapse. An hour later, the battle finally calmed down. The two camps, under the fierce battle of one side, finally decided the victor. The winner was undoubtedly the sixth prince's camp. As for the third prince's camp, they were defeated and returned, and a large number of experts were killed, including a few of the third prince's arms. As for the third prince, Mu Feng himself, he had escaped with his life under the protection of a few trusted aides. Although he had escaped, today's battle had completely established the situation of the Zhenwu country. In addition, the Zhenwu country would have the support of the Holy Feather sect in the future. The sixth prince would certainly become the king. As for the third prince, he could no longer stir up any big waves. The situation was set. The experts of the sixth prince's camp were all pleasantly surprised. While they were pleasantly surprised, they occasionally looked in Jian Wushuang's direction. It's him. He killed a large number of experts from the third prince's camp, killed the genius disciple of the Purple Cloud Pavilion on the spot, and even forced the rank 6 true saint of the Purple Cloud Pavilion to retreat. That's how we can win. Chapter 3129. Left alone. This man is only a rank 3 true saint, right? Yes, he is a rank 3 true saint, but he can kill rank 3 and rank 4 true saints as easily as slaughtering chickens and dogs. He can even kill a rank 5 true saint easily. He is a monster. I don't know where such a monster came from. Fortunately, we have him. How about this battle? We are doomed to lose. Many experts of the sixth prince's camp were discussing quietly. The topic of discussion was naturally Jian Wushuang. However, as the focus of their discussion, Jian Wushuang was obviously in some trouble. My young friend, the person you killed should be a genius disciple of the Purple Heaven Pavilion. The Purple Heaven Pavilion has always attached great importance to such a genius disciple. If you kill him, the Purple Heaven Pavilion will not let it go. Elder Zixing stared at Jian Wushuang. I know. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. You don't seem to be worried about the Purple Cloud Pavilion at all? Elder Zixing looked surprised. The Purple Cloud Pavilion was one of the 3 pavilions of the first heaven. It was an absolute overlord. Such a sect was very frightening in the first heaven. However, judging from Jian Wushuang's expression, he did not look worried at all. Haha, it's just the Purple Cloud Pavilion, and it's worthy of being feared by the Heavenly Marquis. The evil master beside him spoke. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, if you don't mind, I'll immediately report this matter to the higher-ups of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces. With your special status in the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces, the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces will let the Purple Cloud Pavilion hurt you in the slightest. In addition, Mr. Heavenly Marquis, aren't you on better terms with Lord Emoshan? You can also send a message to Lord Emoshan and ask him to come forward. With just one word from Lord Emoshan, I guarantee that the Purple Cloud Pavilion will not dare to show the slightest bit of dissatisfaction. The evil master was full of confidence, but it made Elder Zixing and Xian Zong, who were beside him, feel a little strange when they heard it. My young friend evil master, who is the Lord Emoshan that you are talking about? Elder Zixing asked. Lord Emoshan is a high-ranking official of the Heaven-Cleaving 3 Palaces. He is an extremely powerful principles master. There is also a rule master in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. However, in terms of strength, the principles master of the Purple Cloud Pavilion is definitely inferior to Lord Emoshan. Evil Master said with a smile. Principles Master? Elder Zixing's body trembled as he looked at Jian Wushuang in shock. However, Jian Wushuang just waved his hand lightly and said, This is my own problem. I will find a way to solve it. I don't need to trouble the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance and Elder Emoshan. Evil Master raised his eyebrows, but did not say anything. Sixth Prince, how is it going? Jian Wushuang looked at Sixth Prince. The situation has been decided. Third brother has been defeated. Most of his experts have died in the pursuit just now. There are only a few left. Don't think about causing any more trouble in the true martial kingdom in the future, Sixth Prince said with a smile. In that case, I should have completed my mission, Jian Wushuang said indifferently. Well, the Sixth Prince's expression changed slightly. Jian Wushuang's original heaven-grade mission was to serve as his guard for 100 years. Now it had only been 6 years. However, he had invited Jian Wushuang and the others to deal with the third prince. Now that the third prince's camp had collapsed and the result was set, Jian Wushuang and the others had completed their mission. Don't worry, Mr. Heavenly Marquis. I will contact the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance and tell them that you have completed your mission, the sixth prince said. Okay. Jian Wushuang nodded. Now that I have understood the mission, I will take my leave. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, are you leaving now? Green Prince immediately looked over. Yes. Jian Wushuang's expression was cold. My young friend, although Long Lu left reluctantly just now, I can see that he is very unwilling. If I'm not wrong, Long Lu should not have gone far. He is not far from the void, and has been watching you. Now that I'm with you, he doesn't dare to kill you directly, because it's useless. But if you leave alone, Long Lu will most likely come to kill you immediately, Elder Zixing said. I know that. Jian Wushuang's voice was calm. You still want to leave? Elder Zixing was stunned. It doesn't matter. Long Lu is indeed very strong, but he alone doesn't have the ability to kill me, Jian Wushuang said. If these words were said by other rank 3 true saints, or even rank 4 true saints, it would be very ridiculous. But it was said by Jian Wushuang, and they had just witnessed his strength. A rank 3 true saint had killed Chu Yixiao, the genius disciple of the Purple Cloud Pavilion, who had the battle strength of the peak of rank 5, then fought with Long Lu and forced him to retreat. Such strength was not something an ordinary rank 3 true saint could imagine. Since I dared to leave alone, I naturally have the confidence to face Long Lu. Needless to say, it's you. After all, the genius disciple of the Purple Cloud Pavilion died here. And you helped me, Elder Zixing. I don't know if the Purple Cloud Pavilion will implicate you, Jian Wushuang said. It doesn't matter. Although the Purple Cloud Pavilion is extremely powerful, our Holy Feather sect has been in the first heaven for so many years, so we have some foundation. Moreover, our relationship with the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion is very delicate. If the genius disciple of the Purple Cloud Pavilion died at the hands of our Holy Feather sect, it would be reasonable for the Purple Cloud Pavilion to attack us. However, if the Purple Cloud Pavilion wants to vent their anger on us just because of the delicate relationship between our Holy Feather sect and you, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion will not sit idly by, Elder Purple Star said with a smile. That's good. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. In that case, I'll take my leave. Soon Jian Wushuang left. He left alone. Evil Master and Mirage Water had wanted to go with Jian Wushuang, but Jian Wushuang refused. As Elder Zixing had expected, although Long Lu had left the battlefield, she did not leave at all. Instead, she hid in the surrounding void and watched Jian Wushuang's movements. When he saw Jian Wushuang leave alone, Long Lu was overjoyed and immediately followed him. In the void, which was a certain distance away from the sixth prince's mansion, Jian Wushuang and Long Lu met again, and they even exchanged blows. Bang! 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 A series of violent explosions reverberated throughout the world. Long Lu, it's useless. You are indeed stronger than me, but at most, you can only suppress me directly. However, it's impossible for you to kill me alone. Moreover, if I really want to leave, you can't stop me, Jian Wushuang said with a faint smile. With a flash, he dashed forward. Chapter 3130. Mind Wizard. Seeing that Jian Wushuang was about to leave, Long Lu wanted to catch up with him at once. However, Jian Wushuang was extremely fast. Moreover, Jian Wushuang had released the Ice and Fire domain, which pressed down on him crazily, reducing his speed sharply. He could only follow far behind Jian Wushuang. That's right, he could not stop Jian Wushuang at all. He could only follow far behind Jian Wushuang to ensure that Jian Wushuang would not leave his sight. Damn it, I didn't expect this junior, who is only a rank 3 true saint, to be so difficult to deal with. Previously in the battle, because of the rank 6 true saint of Holy Feather sect, I could not kill him. But now, without the obstruction of the rank 6 true saint, I can't do anything to him alone. Long Lu kept cursing in his heart. I have no choice. I can only follow him and kill him when Elder Xian Wu arrives. Long Lu had already reported Chu Yixio's death to the higher-ups. The Purple Cloud Pavilion naturally would not ignore the death of a genius disciple. Furthermore, Chu Yixiao was the personal disciple of Elder Xian Wu. The Purple Cloud Pavilion was also a great sect that was located in a mystic realm. This sect was even more powerful than the Young Divine sect. There were many experts in the Purple Cloud Pavilion, and there were even a few rank 7 true saints. It was also known that the Purple Cloud Pavilion had a true principles master. Because of this, the Purple Cloud Pavilion could be called one of the overlords of the first heaven. Within the large sect, a group of over 10 Purple Cloud Pavilion disciples formed a guard as they walked around in the air. Everything was originally calm, but suddenly, whoosh, 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 several figures suddenly rushed over from the distant air. In the blink of an eye, they swept past the group of guards and headed toward the Purple Cloud Pavilion's teleportation passage. Each of these figures had an extremely violent aura. This was especially so for the person in the lead, whose killing intent shook the heavens and earth. The 10-odd disciples of the guards were all greatly shocked when they saw this scene. What's going on? Did something happen? The person in the lead seems to be Elder Xian Wu. It's Elder Xian Wu. Look at his aura. It's so violent, and his killing intent is shocking. I've received news that Chu Yixiao was killed while he was adventuring outside. Chu Yixiao? Isn't that Elder Xian Wu's personal disciple? No wonder Elder Xian Wu is so furious. He is very protective of his own shortcomings. Kiki, Elder Xian Wu is not only extremely powerful, but he is also extremely ruthless. Even in our Purple Cloud Pavilion, no one dares to offend him. Now that someone has killed his personal disciple, I really sympathize with that person. The disciples of the guards were chatting idly. Of course, they only dared to say this because Elder Xian Wu and the others had already left. If they were to beat them to death in front of Elder Xian Wu, they would definitely not dare to say a single word. Elder Xian Wu and the others had already taken the Purple Cloud Pavilion's spatial tunnel and disappeared into the Purple Cloud Pavilion. In the vast void, Long Lu was walking forward. At the end of his line of sight, there was a figure. That figure was of course Jian Wushuang. As expected, Elder Xian Wu has come here personally. Now, as long as I can follow that kid and don't let him out of my sight, Elder Xian Wu can kill him personally when he arrives. Long Lu stared at Jian Wushuang at the end, but he was also very nervous. Chu Yixiao was killed by Jian Wushuang in front of his eyes, which was already a big mistake for him. If he did not kill Jian Wushuang immediately and take revenge for Chu Yixiao on the spot, he would be even more guilty. But now, if he let Jian Wushuang escape from his sight again, and let Jian Wushuang escape completely, his crime would be unforgivable. If Elder Xian Wu did not see Jian Wushuang, he would definitely kill him immediately. Don't let him escape. Long Lu clenched his hands. He had been following Jian Wushuang to make sure that Jian Wushuang was always in his sight. However, this situation did not last for long before Long Lu's expression suddenly changed. This kid, the direction he's going. Long Lu had been paying attention to his position and had been transmitting his position to Elder Xian Wu. However, when he followed Jian Wushuang to his current position, he sensed a hint of something. There aren't any particularly powerful sects or forces in front of this kid, but there's a mystic realm of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. Long Lu frowned. There were many mystic realms of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance in the Divine Beginning world. Many of them were not actually secret. They were already completely open and well known. In the first heaven, there were several nests of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance that were completely open. Long Lu also knew about these nests, and it just so happened that Jian Wushuang was heading in the direction of that realm. Does he want to go to the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's realm and take the space passage in the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's realm to leave directly? Long Lu's expression immediately changed. There was a space passage in the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's mystic realm. Moreover, the space passage was in all directions and could lead to all corners. As long as one could afford to pay the price, they could directly go to the endless territory from the mystic realm. If Jian Wushuang really had such a plan, it would be difficult for them to kill him. Elder Xian Wu, Elder Xian Wu. Long Lu immediately sent a message to Elder Xian Wu, who was rushing over. When Elder Xian Wu found out that Jian Wushuang was heading to the mystic realm of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, he immediately flew into a rage. Bastard! No matter what, and no matter what price you pay, you must not let him escape to the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's lair. Otherwise you will die. Long Lu panicked. Elder Xian Wu. That kid is very difficult to deal with. I can't stop him at all. Even if you can't stop him, you have to. Even if he really enters the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's lair, you must not let him use the space passage to leave. Elder Xian Wu's voice was cold. But I'm not an official member of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. I don't even have the right to enter that lair. Unless I don't care about the consequences, and use some means to temporarily seal the space around the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's lair, so that the space passage inside the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's lair is ineffective. Long Lu said in a deep voice. Seal the space and time? Elder Xian Wu's expression changed, and a trace of hostility flashed in his eyes. Yes. Long Lu was stunned, and his face turned pale. Elder Xian Wu, that's the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. Although it's just one of the nests, it still represents the face of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, and directly seals the space and time around the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's nest. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.